All right. So let's start with who here doesn't have dark vision.
Me.
Oh. Technically me.
Yeah, technically you also.
I mean,
Even if you were not blind, you still would not have dark vision.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
technically,
a multifaceted issue.
all she have is dark vision.
Yeah. Yes. All she sees is darkness.
Yeah. No, I do not have dark vision, but I can make a light anyway. So
Can you cast light on your horns and be like projecting forward?
well, it's not casting light.
He should cast it on his nose so he could be the red-nosed reindeer.
It's a
Damn.
bull.
Not do that.
Why not cast it at the tip of the frog's tongue? So that way,
Yeah, there's that.
Well,
Think
the funny thing is, right? I do not have dark vision naturally,
However,
but I have to
What?
spell.
but that's a whole spell slot though.
I don't fucking care.
I mean, you
Damn.
should, a little bit.
I'm playing a fucking artificer. I want to punch things.
But is that really how an artificer works?
That's how I work.
That's how
But it's how you're
armor
making it
works.
Hey man, I'm playing a spellcaster. All right, I want to hit things.
Hey man,
What?
I'm playing.
Moment of
specifically-
silence.
I'm playing the specific subclass that lets me punch things.
Mm-hmm.
Me hit.
Yeah,
Me
you-
hard.
It's Neil like walks into this cave, squints, realizing he can't see, and then the helmet will go on, and he'll be able to see. Because I'm gonna cast dark vision.
How long does that last?
Fucking, I don't know.
8 hours or something.
8 hours? Yeah. I think
Let me
something
check.
like that.
Click on the sheet over clicking.
8 hours.
Yeah.
I touched myself.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Oh no!
I am the willing creature.
Man,
Oh no,
Oh,
I just
man.
a pinch of dried carrot. Is this a
I'm pretty sure that was that jazz musician's defense in court as well.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
probably very true. That's probably super true.
Yikes.
I understand what everyone's yikesing about. I could be talking about anything. So,
Hey, it's not a yikes. He went to jail.
right?
It's true. He did go to jail. It's not a yikes.
However,
He
the
was
problem-
punished.
However, the problem is that he got out of jail.
Hmm.
In a body bag.
Oh.
The way God intended. Anyways.
We got him.
But if anybody else needs to be able to see, I can tinker with a rock and it can make it a light. I can make a flashlight.
You can make a flash.
How long does that
Actually,
take?
kind of awesome.
Until I stop it.
Until you don't
Oh.
want it anymore.
Tinkers are fun.
True.
I think we're chill for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I have dark vision,
Mhm.
but it's not saying that anywhere on my sheet.
It'd be a little odd for a frog to have dark vision, I think.
Maybe I don't.
Wait a
I
minute,
don't
you're a
think you
frog.
do.
Holy shit.
In a
You
minute.
needed a lot of torches.
But torches will dry him out because of the fire.
It's true. I did need a lot of torches. I do not have dark vision.
Simply put the frog in a barrel of water, carry him
I'm-
on your back.
Already in the barrel of water. No,
Oh,
not
no.
right now. Actually, yeah, But I would at any possible moment.
All right, then give him a flashlight then.
Yeah, I'm gonna
No,
need that flashlight.
I'll make a flashlight for you. Yeah.
Yeah. How far does it go?
Let me.
60 feet?
Wow.
Unless it's something else, right?
The object sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light and for an additional 5 feet.
Oh, it's very small, but at least you will be able to
It
see
is
yourself.
it is light. You'll be able to see in front of you.
Like, yeah, I have a candle basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, someone has a candle that doesn't go out in water.
That's true.
Yeah,
I have that.
It's a little weak light. You'll just see him like tinker with it, and then he just hands back this weird fucking like thing, and you just go. If you just touch that, then it'll
touch
light
what?
up. Just
What?
touch like the top of it, just the top of it right there. You see that right there?
That
Just
way.
touch that.
Oh,
And then
okay,
just
right.
a light.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty interesting.
All right. Does anyone else need anything, or are we good?
I think we're good.
Right,
Okay.
then.
So, you all kind of like start grouping up and getting ready to start this trek throughout these tunnels.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go ahead and give Istis something for free, given their heightened senses, especially in a long, echoey cavern system like this. There are a handful of things that come off as very weird and wrong to you. Main thing, number one, is you don't hear anything moving. This comes off as odd because even in a system like this, there would be something like, bats or giant spiders or something, but you don't even hear like the rocks being disturbed on the ceilings, on the walls, even underneath your feet. For all intents and purposes, this system seems to be completely devoid of life.
I will relay that information to the party.
There's absolutely nothing here. Kind of disturbing.
Yes, but that means that we probably will not get attacked.
I cannot confirm that there is nothing. I am simply saying that I do not hear or smell any.
It is interesting.
That is interesting.
Well, your senses are better than mine, so I'm just gonna go with that.
We'll stay on guard, but
All right. I guess we should
Sure.
probably continue. I mean, if there's
Alright.
nothing here, then there's I don't know. It's nothing to worry about, right? Maybe like a trap or something. I guess.
well, there can be things here that are not alive.
Fair point.
That is worse.
But nothing's moving either. Like the walls weren't
moving
even
yet.
moving. Like if this place is so still, it's like trapped in time.
Well, I will move forward now.
Okay,
Let's go then.
let's go.
So yeah,
Ooh.
as the party moves forward,
Hey!
I'm stepping on your toes. I'm stepping on your J's.
I can't believe this, the disrespect. You think they hand
Look
that
where
handy-
it's going, lizard lady.
Stepping
As
on
you-
your J's, little man.
I'm
I can't
walking
believe
here.
this. People stepping on each other's Jordans out here.
Damn. They were
So-
clean.
How many creased J's? Was it worth it?
I'm gonna increase your J's, Batman.
You monster.
No Joker.
No Joker.
I really don't understand where we're going with this Joker. I don't get it. You see, man, I've been talking to her ever since she was 16. I don't.
Oh no!
No, Joker, no!
What is this? What do you? I don't understand.
Jesus.
It doesn't seem evil. It just seems really weird.
Batman, you're gonna go to jail, Batman.
So, as you enter the first large, branching off part of the cavern, you see that it's filled with, crates and barrels. A lot of the crates have been kind of smashed in. Whatever contents they have kind of spilled out and slowly have become one with the earth itself, while others still seem to be fairly intact.
I'm gonna go
Boop,
investigate the crates.
Boop, you said I wasn't listening to any sound. As we move deeper, am I listening to our own sounds? Like our steps?
I would say that you've kind of taught yourself to reach
out
beyond
that.
just that, and that's kind of the thing that really stands out as odd to you. I think the statements that you made earlier were very accurate, because if something was breathing, something was hiding, if something was even moving, you would be able to at least sense something from there. But you're not getting anything. You're just getting your own movements, like you said. So,
Okay.
So it's not that this cave is silenced or anything. It's just still.
Yeah.
Unnervingly still.
Mhm.
Is there anything on the boxes that are not broken?
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I don't need you to roll a perception check to look at a box. I think if anything, I'd say give me a history check with advantage if you're going to be checking out the crates. Banbrick.
Oh,
And
don't
for
let me-
anyone, and for anyone else examining, that would just be a regular history check.
I think
Whoa,
I'm
it's-
just wanting to like check and see if there are any marks on the floor, or, like tracks that would indicate something had moved through here previously, and if there's like
Fair.
a trail somewhere.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's fair. In that case, give me investigation. Okay, cool. So we have a lot of stuff to go through. Just with these alone, real fast, Eastus and Max, is there anything that you guys want to do while the group's kind of like investigating this open space?
I think I'm just gonna keep an eye out, an ear out, I should say.
Yeah.
An ear hole out.
Keep your eyes peeled. That will not do anything.
I don't. I mean, they're open all the time.
Yeah.
So, all right, going from top to bottom here. Let's see. I forgot Mark's character's name. I'm a good DM. Soren. The first thing that kind of like starts kind of like raising the hairs on your neck is you start recognizing some of the other barrels and boxes. For the insignia of it is of Stoth.
Oh.
Still so far from home, and yet can't seem to escape it. Meanwhile, Banbrick.
Yes.
You kind of start sweating a little bit as well, as you recognize a lot of the insignias on these barrels and boxes. These are some of the most prestigious trading houses that existed in Voclestan before the fall. And they were apparently all in on this smuggling ring, and they were all just there.
Oh,
And like, considering how much is here and what they traded in, you just have to wonder where these supplies were going, if anything.
that's how they grew. The motherfuckers.
Neil,
Yes.
there are a concerning amount of older footprints. These footprints definitely seem to have kind of like almost dried up in the cave over time. Like, it's very clear that whatever these people are walking through, there's enough of it to leave lasting footprints in the dirt and mud underneath you. Judging by the weight of it, it's clear that they were wearing suits of armor, but then there's also indications of lighter steps as well, meaning that they were walking in lighter materials. So, heavily armored people not as armored, but they were all going along the same path. Seems like the last thing they did was stack up all these boxes and barrels, and then they went back deeper into the caves. Which kind of leads to warning bell number 2. None of the footprints are going in the direction that you guys came from.
Hmm.
Interesting. Are they? Do I see like where they came from? Like are they going in the opposite direction from where we came from?
Yeah, it might be easier if I just kind of like did a little doodle real fast on the map. So it's essentially like, you're looking around as everyone's examining the boxes, and you see that the footsteps I described are kind of going in this pattern of like coming from here, going around, going around, going around, going around, and then going back in again that way.
Yeah, they never left the cave system the way we came in.
Interesting.
Worrying.
Maybe this was a deposit.
Maybe.
It's certainly not unheard of for smugglers to have multiple entrances into their own tunnel systems. It's even less like it's even more common for them just to have a little part of the cave just dedicated to dumping excess storage in case something goes wrong. So,
The barrels you all looked into, is there anything in them? These footprints are old, so I do not believe that this area of the tunnel has been used in a while.
What is in the buckets or the barrels?
it doesn't take a tremendous amount of effort. I mean, you guys, unless you have like a -5 to your strength skill, then
Which I do.
Hypothetically.
whoa. So,
Joke's on you. I'm actually missing both of my arms.
holy shit. There's so much I'm learning about your characters right now.
That one popped off last night.
I
Mhm.
can't believe it. They just fell off. And you're like, well.
This is
Damn.
more efficient.
Not again.
Wah, wah, wah. So as you kind of start prying open barrel lids and looking around in them, it's dried provisions. Dried provisions, extra clothing. There seems to be quite a bit of gold kind of like tucked away in the corners of some boxes and barrels as well. But it just kind of seems to be survival supplies.
They were probably, this is probably a storage room, and they were probably using it as a means to hoard? No, not hoard. Prepare for being locked up or locked in or something.
Or perhaps they simply stole from travelers that were traveling by.
I mean,
There are multiple different insignias on all of these barrels.
Yes.
It could
Different
be
houses typically would not keep their supplies with themselves, or amongst others.
How old would these boxes? How old would these be? I imagine they're not fresh.
I'd say.
Because if there's multiple insignias, then it's either a group that have banded together, which is highly unlikely since you'd have to share the money, or it's probably this place has been used by multiple different groups of people over a long period of time.
Or Istis's hypothesis is correct, and this is from bandits who have stolen from them and are storing it.
With multiple insignias?
The thing that concerns me is that this is not any precious supplies, like material for welding or any commercial implements. This is all food, clothing,
Yeah.
extra money, things
Like
that you would
they're-
need if you were trying to flee.
But this
Or if you were stockpiling for a long period of solitude.
I suggest that we follow the footprints further in. Maybe we'll find more patches like this.
Perhaps
Yeah.
someone knew what was going to happen to
Yes,
Voclestan
that
ahead
was-
of time.
also what I thought. This looks like someone preparing to escape.
Or multiple people, considering these are different insignias.
Yes, they're all big houses from Voclestan.
I
So
see.
before the fall.
Oh.
The barrels
Oh,
from
that's-
Stott are very strange, though.
So it was. So
Which
my
ones?
hypothesis is probably that they were stockpiling because they knew what was coming, which was probably what cut them off from the rest of the world.
Which barrels are concerning sword?
Stuff.
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 What significance does that have?
Please elaborate on stuff.
Stoth. It's Stothe.
Oh.
Dos.
It was a city.
Oh.
Emphasis on was.
Was it around here?
Was it another demon attack?
Not exactly demons, but... Well, shoot, now that I remember... It did collapse shortly after Voclestan did.
Is this where you are from?
Yes.
Hmm.
Then
Well,
That was a long time ago.
Assuming I'm assuming you did not live close to Voclestan, did?
Oh no, it's hundreds of miles to the south. By the sea.
From the sea,
How
you say.
how long ago was it?
It was like 2-3 years, right?
Let's see. Stealth's collapse was something that happened overnight before Voclestan fell, so that would have been like 10 or so years ago.
And they have a barrel from there here. Maybe this... Maybe Banbrek and Max are correct. This seems like higher-ups knew what was happening and decided to hide here.
But maybe they didn't get your escape in time. So
Yes, send supplies ahead of time so that way they can run, but maybe the collapses were faster than they anticipated. We can only sit around here and think on it for so long.
Yeah, we
Answers will not be
should
found here. Only more questions.
Perhaps we can
Probably.
find who these supplies were for in the first place.
Yes. Maybe we can ask this Phoenix fellow if we find him alive.
Okay. As you all start preparing to head in deeper into the tunnels. Let's see. I am going to have to ask something of everybody here.
Mhm.
I'm going to have to ask for a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
something I'm good at. Wait, where's my...
How's an 11 do? Does that sound good?
I just did wisdom. Whoops. My
You're a wizard. You should be proficient with those.
I just clicked. Wait, where's the save?
I'm a
There it
samurai.
is.
I gain proficiency like that.
That's also true.
Yo, points.
No!
There's a samurai!
No, he's a
You know-
samurai.
Nothing was gonna be useful.
Some up, some down in the way of the samurai.
You having some issues, Abel? What's up?
I don't remember where.
So,
the button
when
for-
you look on your sheet,
Found
on the left it says all of the stats, and then right next to it it has inspiration,
Okay.
proficiency bonus,
I
and then
got
that box right there. Yeah.
Found it.
Okay. So, we'll start from descending order. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and tell a story as
Oh
we
boy.
go through the saving throws here.
Oh boy.
Neil,
Yeah.
as the party as a whole, you guys have been walking for what feels like hours. And then finally, when you turn another tunnel corner, you end up back here.
I see.
Sitting there and pondering for a little bit, you all kind of like start thinking about like, is there anything weird that happened while you were just walking through a pretty basic like number of tunnels? And Istis, that's when it kind of hits you that the farther you try to move into the cavern, you start hearing your
footsteps.
companion's footsteps as if they were in front of you, rather than if they were behind you. Which doesn't make a terrible amount of sense. But you know what your senses tell you, and that's what they're telling you. And Max, after walking for like about an hour or so, just out of pure instinct, just like following some kind of like wizard like gut feeling, you kind of like pick up a rock and you kind of like make it glow blue, and then you just drop it. Then you pick up another one and you drop it. And another one, you start making like this little trail of like little blue rocks. And sure enough, after about an hour or so passes, you see your little blue rocks like coming up in front of you.
This is definitely wrong.
I now understand why these footprints are like this.
And I now understand why there was so much survival gear in there.
I'd have to assume that was left here prior to them realizing this.
It might be.
Although it
yeah.
might be fortunate that it was, considering this is a tunnel, this is an outlet that leads almost immediately out of this tunnel.
Out of curiosity, are we sure able to leave the cave?
Well, let's try.
Let's try.
1 second.
Out of bounds, we fall through the wall.
We flip through the back rooms. We're like, no!
Okay, opening requires a second.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, other than that, the jazz bar was actually pretty fun. I would recommend it if you have a place
Other than
near you.
the child predator.
Well, he wasn't the only musician. He played near the end.
Yeah.
It was pretty vibes. Pretty expensive though.
Jazz bars. That sounds like a jazz bar. Yeah, they are vibes, but they are very expensive because you're paying for the vibes.
Yeah.
I love how nobody's asked Neil about his arm yet.
I didn't see it, bro.
I know. The people who did are just like, I'm not gonna fucking say anything. I'm just not gonna ask.
No. That seems like a personal problem.
I don't know.
If he wants to talk about it, he can.
He's not gonna talk about it until somebody asks him about it.
Darn.
He's not gonna just be like, so I know you guys saw my arm. Be weird.
It's pretty weird.
Weird guy.
Maybe he's just gonna go for a handshake one day, and it'll be awkward because I don't know.
What do you mean? No, when he's on his armor, he has two arms.
Oh yeah, but like I assume you don't sleep in your arm.
No, but why would you shake my hand when I'm asleep?
Well, like when we just woke up, I was like, oh, here's your
Alright,
coffee
I'm back.
handshake
Sorry
or
about that.
whatever.
But before Neil leaves his like tent, he's in his armor.
Okay.
Okay.
He's in his mobile Gundam suit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get in the mech, Shinji.
Or don't do it.
Someone once... I was trying to explain the concept of Gundam to my partner the other night, and I couldn't help but word it like it is, and I said, it's about a bunch of space nationalists fighting people, and then the other people weaponizing autism to win a war.
It's true. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
New types are just high functioning autistic people.
I think that's true for most mecha stuff, though.
Yeah.
It kind of is. They love following that like concept of people who think just differently from everyone else to not form meaningful relationships or have difficulty forming them, and also being able to like operate these very complex machines on such a crazy level of precision.
But you can also see it more so as society pushing those people out, but them having to like build on or like create the backbones of that society, because they're literally forcing the people who think differently and can't meld into everyone else to fight for them.
And literally,
And it just so happens they're good at it.
Yeah, literally, armor core. You gotta go through a surgery that will make you unable to
Lobotomize you.
Well, it's not that bad, but it can have consequences of like unable to connect with people, unable to communicate, unable to do anything else other than pilot the AC.
I can't believe this.
War is heck.
War is heck.
War is heck, man.
Can't believe this, dude. Like, so I'm terribly sorry about that. But you are asking what happens if you head out the cave?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we can, we leave.
Yeah, so the tunnel is like still there.
Okay.
So, yeah. Do you want to just like leave?
Yeah, we'll take a step out to
Yeah,
see
we leave, we
what
go to other
happens.
city, we spend our money, and
Yeah,
We
and then
just
have
have to
fun
go
day.
home. It's easy.
Yeah, you just leave the campaign.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that this exit, like this whole, once we stepped in here, we weren't trapped in some weird liminal space.
So, as you like start leaving the cave, you start seeing like the light pour out from the outside. But when you start approaching and you squint closer, you instead see that there's a large wooden door.
Can I try to open it?
Yeah.
He's not even gonna knock. Wow.
Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna attempt to open the door.
Should at least knock first. Come on.
No.
Yeah, the door opens up, and Neil, you're kind of immediately struck with a sense of nostalgia. Like, as soon as you start pushing and cracking the door open, like, the sudden fumes and sense of a workshop hit you. And as you kind of swing the door open, suddenly, this is for everyone to kind of see. And, well, I guess even Istis can kind of, like, feel the sensations coming from the other side of the door. But, Neil, this was an old workshop of yours.
What?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What is this? I will step out into it.
Yeah, as you step back out into it, to everyone, I would say that, like, the surroundings feel muddled and weird. Enough of you have kind of, like, realized what you're in to kind of see past it, but to everyone else, this looks very real. I would say to, like, Istis, everything feels muddy. Like, the sounds feel distorted, and as if they were being, like, yelled through, like, as if someone was trying to, like, communicate something to you, but you were underwater, almost.
Can
But
I
no, please, by all means.
can I pull Neil before he goes into that what might be a trap?
Yeah, you can, like, grab at his sleeve.
I like grab him by his hairy nape.
Ugh.
Mhm. So intimate. My God.
Something's wrong here. Think
Yes,
carefully before moving forward.
I also feel like something is amiss here, but I don't feel like I can help myself in this situation.
Wait, I had an idea.
Hmm.
Close the door. Let me open it.
All right.
They close the door. And
Does-
Bambrick
when-
steps up and opens it.
Is it still the same place?
No, it's someplace completely different now. And Bambrick, as soon as you open it, every fiber of your being is screaming at you to close it. Because when you open it, you recognize exactly where you're at. You're at your family's forge.
Oh.
And judging by the figure that is hard at work in the forge, your heart kind of sinks a little. And the question comes into play of, are you a strong enough person to show your party your weakest moment?
Wait, where's my... Would that be wisdom?
I mean,
No, that would be charisma, I guess, right?
It's not even stats wise. It's just what would you care to do, bro?
Yeah. You don't have. You don't
No,
roll.
you don't even have to.
Would Bandbreak at this point be like, fuck, you know what? Whatever. Let's see it. Or would he be like, nope, and close the door again?
Fuck that
Oh
shit.
yeah, I was gonna do it based on his stats actually, because I'm like, maybe, but
Okay, let's see.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. So, like, you kind of open
Yeah,
it, see what's
it's
going on, and then just immediately
yes.
slam it.
What?
What
Here,
is
look.
going on?
It seems that these are showing us past memories. At least in my case.
What kind of past memory?
I don't know. It was an old
Bad
workshop
one?
of mine. Was it the workshop that... Did I recognize that part?
You do.
It's,
Bad memories.
mine was the workshop where I lost my arm.
Wait,
You lost your arm?
in a workshop?
Yes. To both of you.
I'm gonna have to hear that story later.
I think if we open the door and walk through it, we can just see it.
And
I- I
Is it
must
a double
not.
door or is it a single door?
Because
What-
it's like
what
a
is-
single door, but it's
Okay.
a large one with
A
an
large
iron handle.
door.
Mm.
If this
Wait.
truly shows a bad memory, then I must not open it.
Which
Uh,
memory? Yeah, which one would it show? Before being
Potent-
reborn or
It
after?
could potentially show their death.
Oh shit. Yeah, that would be not good.
I find myself in a similar camp as Istis. I would rather not open that door.
Uh,
I have no
well-
qualms with opening the door.
I mean,
I am fairly certain that what I witnessed is the reason I am blind now.
Interesting.
well, I think it's gonna be either me or Neil.
Wait, I had another idea.
Ideas.
Why does two people open the door at the
Yeah.
same time?
But
I was just I'll say, why not just break the door? We don't have to open it.
Huh.
Neil's opening the door.
Okay. Neil, you open the door, and once again, you are back in your workshop. But something seems to be a little bit more amiss. And this moment in time, you recognize as after you've lost your arm. And if you actually, no, you don't even have to step inside. You can just look through the door and see that. You see the form of yourself working at a forge. There are like dozens of adventurers all bustling about, like looking at your work, and people would run up and they'd wave something in front of your face, and they'd just be like, "Oh, how much is this? How much is this, Mr. Neil? Like, oh, like I think do you think I'll be able to survive a dragon bite with this?"
I sure hope you can.
I trust you, Mr. Neil. I trust you. And then they'll drop like a small a small coin pouch before like running out with it with the rest of their party.
Hmm.
And well, I guess I should ask before just continuing to ramble on as I am wont to do. Are you guys gonna just keep watching or what?
I'm gonna follow. And step in and look around the
I'll
shop.
step in.
Okay.
I'm gonna
okay, sure.
I'm gonna wait outside just in case.
Yeah, no, I'm also gonna stay outside the door.
I'll
Okay.
walk in.
Yeah. As you walk in, the place smells of like polished pine and scorching flames.
Hmm.
It would seem as if like Neil has a very good shop here. It's top notch. There are trophies that other adventurers have like asked Neil to like mount on the walls just to like show off that like, hey, if it wasn't for this guy, we wouldn't have gotten this kind of stuff.
I wanna look at the weapons.
What
Uh,
weapons?
Oh right,
There
yeah,
are
it's all
no
armor.
weapons.
Yeah, I want to look at the armor.
And each armor seems to kind of be like meticulously made. There's little patterns, little textures here and there that very much so scream that this is a Neil thing that they made.
Can I sense any of the like if any of the armors are like magical or infused with magic?
Bro is looking for
I
magic
I don't
items in a
think. I don't
memory.
think at this point they would be.
No.
No, yeah, I don't think that was something that Neil's capable of.
No,
It's
at
just,
this
like,
point they would just be regular armor. Just be really good
Just-
armor.
Just really good armor. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just really consistent mundane armor.
Hmm.
Okay.
And as you kind of like start looking around the racks, you slowly start seeing the inventory shift as you're surrounded by the blurs of people coming and going and coming and going. And you can't help but notice that the amount of adventurers are starting to lessen and lessen. And
Time's moving forward.
as it goes on, you start hearing the adventurers say worse and worse things about Neil. As finally, like one day, like the place is just empty, and you just see the door open up, and you see like a handful of young adventurers walk in, and Neil doesn't even look up from the forge when they walk in. As one of the adventurers' friends grabs him by the sleeve and goes, Nuh-uh, dude. I hear this stuff breaks the second you buy it. It's no good. We should check out that other place, though. Everyone's going there. And the guy kind of like looks a little hesitant and goes, all right, sure. And then they just leave without even entering.
I'm gonna look to Neil, and I'm gonna be like, "What happened? Did someone else take up all your business and started talking shit about you?"
Perhaps you made one bad suit of armor and it stuck with you for the rest of your life.
I don't think Neil's capable of making bad armor.
Wait,
Hmm.
how good are your senses, Istus?
Harry.
This is like out of character asking. Because can you sense like if someone close to you just like shivers a bit or something?
Oh, that might be. I mean, if they're like right next to me, I might notice it.
Yeah, I'm like standing next to you near the door, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you when Mark
I think if anything, Istis would only really be able to pick up if like your body language was enough to physically make a noise, or if your breathing changed.
Oh yeah.
Why is this dwarf next to me breathing heavy?
Something awoken in them after
Something's
standing
going
next
on.
to you for so long.
I don't know, something's happening, dude.
Yeah,
Lizard lady.
Yeah, too.
When Soren
Mm-hmm.
mentions the an armor,
bad armor.
you made a bad armor and it stuck with you. Benbrook starts hyperventilating a little. But that's just that.
At both of them asking this question, Neil sort of like Neil has not taken his eyes off of himself this entire time. And at both of you being like, "Why? What happened?" He kind of goes like, lets out a deep sigh and just says, "Being an armorer is a tough job because you can visibly see your success rate, and so can everyone else."
No, but wait, your armor started to degrade over time? Or what?
No.
You started making worse and worse armor over time? That doesn't seem...
One
Right,
person
as-
got very unlucky.
As you say this, almost like as if like a stage cue, suddenly the door to Neil's armory swings open, and a guy wearing robes of fine silk walks in. The single hair that adorns his head is somehow slicked back in very nice oils. As he kind of walks in, and he looks around, and he just goes like, "Oh, poor Neil. Well, you know what they say, word does get out. Can't say I really blame them, after all. I mean, it came from a very reputable source." They kind of like pat their chest a little. "Well, I'll make it easy for you then. I'll buy the space off of you, and you can just get on out of here. It's clear no one wants you anymore."
And let your two-timing ways win. Huh. Please, I'd rather you try to kill me.
I don't
Neil
need to,
Neil has not looked away from his forge. Also, he's still like hammering away at something.
Yep, just you're watching your past self communicate with this other person. As the person kind of chortles and just goes, "I don't need to kill you. I've already killed your business. You might as well be dead. Honestly, you should have just accepted my offer from the get-go. This wouldn't have had to happen."
Neil stops working on the thing he's working on and like whips around, and you'll see instead of the like his armor that he has on with his new prosthetic arm, you'll just see like something cobbled together that looks really chunky and made out of like metal and is like bent at a right angle, so it's better to use at a forge. And just slams it on the table.
He
On the
does
counter.
jump at that.
Yeah, and he looks at him and just goes, "My pride is not worth your money. I've saved lives. What have you done?"
I've gotten rich off of them. Really, when you think
That's
about
all
it,
you care about.
it's the only thing that matters, Neil. I wish you would just learn to see it that way. Don't get me wrong, you make excellent things. It's clear on the walls that people appreciate that. But I feel like you're overlooking something, Neil, and that's, do they appreciate you, or do they appreciate the things that you give them and sell to them? I'm just saying, Neil. You know, people appreciate me. I have to wonder if they appreciate you in the same way.
I don't
Give it some
care.
thought.
Appreciate me.
Oh, yes, I know this conversation's over by now. I can just give it some thought. And if you change your mind, well, you know where to find me. It's where all the adventurers are now.
Get
And
out
with
of
that,
my
he kind of like,
store.
sure. Of course. My doors are always open to you, friend. And then he promptly leaves.
So what's his name? And how do we take him down?
It doesn't matter.
I disagree.
I've put it behind me.
I haven't.
Yeah, and as Neil kind of says this, you slowly start seeing pieces of armor disappearing from the shelves. You see like a handful of crates and boxes start piling up. And then just like, with the shelves barren, the forge not even turned on one day. Just, you don't even see Neil come in.
So just like that, you left?
I had no more reason to stay.
I
The
mean,
people had a new armor that they seemed to enjoy.
was it more effective? Did more of them live? I don't
That's not
think
my
so.
concern anymore. They've made their choice, and I'm letting them sit on it.
Did they? Or were they just taken in by, some guy with a lot of money?
It's a corrupting force.
It sure is. Seen it time and time again in my adventures. Whenever there's a pile of gold somewhere, there's always going to be a fight. Everyone wants the bigger cut. I guess the same is true in the city. Nothing ever changes.
What happens if I close the door with them in there?
Oh, shit!
Oh, no.
Don't let the intrusive
It's a
thoughts
good
win.
question.
Don't let the intrusive
Do you wanna-
thoughts win.
Do you want to?
I want to close them.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
All
So-
right. Okay.
So
intrusive thoughts won.
So currently, Soren's in the shop, Neil's in the shop, and Max is in the shop.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone but Ben, Breck, and Nistus are in there.
Yeah. So as Istis kind of just like slowly walks up, like you don't even have to conceal your movements. Everyone's very wrapped up in what's happening in the shop. You kind of just close it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like you kind of like put your ear up against the door, and you don't hear anything. You hear something, but you have to wonder if it's because of the properties of what is behind the door to begin with. But you don't hear your friends on the other end, that's for sure.
What do we see happen?
Yeah.
As soon as you hear the door slam and you turn around and see that the door's gone, you hear the sounds of the forge starting up again.
Oh.
As you see a younger Neil, same one in the flashback, just kind of like hammering away and kind of like keeping eye contact with you, Neil. Like this time they do see you.
Oh.
I will approach the counter.
It looks up and down at you and just goes, well, I'm glad to see this doesn't impede our progress to getting better. Hammers away.
Yeah. I like. Yes, we learned how to adapt.
Well, I suppose that's one thing that being a Minotaur gets you. Too stubborn to quit.
It is our greatest asset. And maybe our hardest curse.
Yeah, as you say that, like, you feel this Neil, still young, still have yet to learn as much as you have learned to now. You see them kind of like do something that no smith should ever do, and that's hit the forge with emotion. As, you know, they hammer it and you see like a plate that would have been a really good plate, like get bent just out of shape enough to not be worth using. As they kind of tisk and like, you know, get a pair of tongs and they kind of just toss it back into the forge to like melt. And they kind of like look back at you and they just go like, we had a good life here. People liked us. People knew us. We could have found something here if you weren't just such a coward and ran.
You're right. We could have. And I thought that I cared more for my work than myself. But it turns out that wasn't true.
We can't
I
change the
understand.
past.
But we can strive to be better.
Yeah.
Also, don't move, don't hit, don't strike moving. Don't do that.
Whatever, old man. And you see them kind of like give you the most briefest of smirks as they kind of like pick up a backpack filled with supplies. As they swing the door open to the forge, as light spills out on the other end and goes, well, coming with?
I like look back at the other two who are there,
No.
and I go, I think this time I'll choose to stay.
And you see them nod.
Mm.
And you go, well, don't let me keep you. I think you spend enough time here anyways. And they leave. The door closes. And Istis, you feel the door knob start to like shake and wiggle as like you're holding the door shut. It feels as if the door's gonna swing itself open.
Oh. I'll let it go.
Mm-hmm. You kind of let it go, and the door like swings open as Soren, Neil, and Max are kind of like there's nothing really there anymore. You guys feel you just leave, you know?
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah.
Just
Back where we
everything
started.
slowly starts to melt away back into like the sides of a cave again.
Interesting. Can I make an Arcana check as it's doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, like, what kind of magic, or like maybe like an artifact or something, is causing this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Damn. Fucking
Ah.
3.
Okay. Well, I would still be able to tell you that like something magical is definitely at play here. But the more like evidence you start gathering, like the more apparent it will become to you. hello there, DM here. This is a fancy little way of saying the more times you experience what's behind the door, the more chances you'll get to do re-rolls and stuff like that for finding out
Okay.
what's going on.
Okay.
So we will just have to continuously go into the door
Yeah. And
If
if
you
if we
want.
want.
Oh, I absolutely would love to.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is something that Max is very much like interested in, is weird magical stuff that doesn't seem to have any kind of like reason to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for Max, it's like, oh, this is fascinating. Can we go in again? Let's go in again. Who wants to go next?
If you're so eager, why not you?
I mean, I don't know. I feel pretty good after that.
Then perhaps I shall go.
Didn't you say that you may have gone blind because of what happened?
Didn't you just say?
If you wish to open the door, we'll be there with you.
Like I said, it's just what I think.
I mean,
I-
I'll be in there with you. So I think like if something were to happen, I could help. So there's that.
Is this you fucking closed the door on us?
An accident, I'm sure.
Our little hairless, very disturbed by what he was witnessing. I simply wish to calm him down.
It was. Yes.
It seems that closing the door led to facing the memory instead of just watching it.
Oh boy. Well, so.
But that leads to closure.
I mean,
It
I
leads to
guess.
growth.
Closure, like a closing door?
Oh shit! That's a good.
Holy
hold
shit,
on a second.
Bambrek, you
Wait
get a
minute.
whole fucking level.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
my god.
Oh my
shit,
god, he
Holy
got
shit,
the
Bambrek.
subtext!
Maverick, what the hell? That's incredible. You just got that out of
Oh,
nowhere.
the
You just got that. That's outstanding.
open the door.
Oh no!
Oh my god, he leveled up.
Just the fucking
God.
unmatched power of the sun bursts forth from the door, blinding us immediately.
Ah, that's how he got blinded.
That was
We're just on the surface
whelming.
of the sun.
Little did you know that was his real backstory. They're
This
now
is
trying to
actually a
wrestle the
solar
sun.
dragon the whole time.
They try to wrestle the actual sun and then they
Oh,
incinerate
no.
it in space. So, who's going next?
Oh, do it. The whole party being blind sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, open the door.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So-
I'll walk in.
Yeah, it's just as you approach the door that's closed, and you kind of like press yourself up against the door, and then like put your whole ass into pulling it open. You kind of like hear the same noises that was if when you like shut the door earlier, And as it opens and it swings in, oof. I mean, I don't know how far you guys are okay with me talking about increasingly heavy stuff like this, but we're going to be talking about war, so...
Woo!
War is
Yeah! Love it!
War is hell.
War is heck.
So,
I think we good.
okay. So, as the door swings open, the scent immediately hits you of death, of burnt corpses, of just pure misery and anguish. This is not something that anyone can just consume regularly. It's something that people have to choke down and take. It's not something that you get used to. It's something that's slow, that you have to tell yourself that you can take day in and day out, constantly being surrounded by it, constantly being the ones inflicting it, and having to look at the people that you commit it to. Istis, your senses return to you in a brief and awful instance, as you find yourselves back in the fields of Ilithalor, as you see the long and tall reeds and grasses sticking out, but the once pure green that they held has now been stained, muddied with the blood of orcs. As you take in the sights and you look around, you see that there are plenty of elves alongside you. These elves look haggard, tired, and almost like they have to turn their brains off just in order to, thrust the spear down and take out whatever's in front of them next. And finally...
How's this working for Istis who can't see?
Oh, Istis gets their senses back.
Gets their senses back.
Oh,
They
Istis can see now.
They unfortunately are being... Whatever is in here is making them see what they've done in the past. And you see, Istis, you see the old you. Would you like to describe what the old Istis looked like to everyone?
Elf Istis, Elf Girl Istis. Woo, let's go!
Alternate costume.
Woo!
The non-furry bay one. Whoa!
The non-scaly Istis. Let's fucking go!
Bring the dragon back!
Let's fucking go!
She wasn't a very high standing soldier. She was a foot soldier, so she was wearing very basic armor, short blonde hair, and just empty blue eyes that have clearly seen some shit.
okay.
And witnessing all this, Isis would prefer to still be blind at this point. Because she's seen people she recognizes, her fellow soldiers who walk into a terrible war. Being reminded of orcs, something that might as well be a trauma for her. At this point, she's just gonna drop to her knees as seeing all this.
Mm-hmm. Despite dropping to your knees, the scene moves on without you, as the landscape kind of shifts and turns as...
What? Going hard as shit.
We're going in, boy. It rolls up sleeves.
Going hard as hell. Wait a minute.
The imagery shifts and turns as you see a large elf encampment. In a moment that you've tried your absolute best to suppress and have succeeded in reincarnation, you've reminded of one of the grossest and dirtiest war crimes that the elves committed against the orcs while they were retaliating when their god was killed and the orcs were forced to retreat.
Ooh,
And it is something that the elves simply call the pit.
Oh.
And what it is it's just a big hole in the ground that elves would grab orcs, toss them down, and then light them on fire.
Holy fuck.
God.
Former war criminal Istis.
Let's go.
And this incident also is the last thing that Istis would have remembered, because it would ultimately lead to their death. So, Istis, you and your fellow soldiers, you're dragging these lines of orcs clasped in irons and chains as defeat, shock, resignation are just on all of their faces as you pull them along. You're pretty close to the middle, so you can see like all kinds of like the kinds of orcs that they grabbed. And you start to kind of get like a full breath of how unified the orcs as a whole had to be in order to get this far and do what they've done. Because not all these people are combatants. Some of these people are engineers who have built the orc war machines. Some of these people are, diplomats. Some of these people aren't even soldiers or have a place on the battlefield. They're just people who are related. You see partners, you see wives, and as you watch as your fellow soldiers start unclasping them and shoving them down the pit, you see your commanding officer grab a small orc child, picks them up by their hair, looks them in the eye, calls them filth, and then tosses them down into the pit.
Holy fuck.
Would this is a memory, but would Isis be able to interfere?
You see the past you just like standing there horrified, watching your superior officer doing this. And I think you would know better than anyone what happens next. And with the sudden horrible realization of what is about to happen, you can try.
Is the door opened or closed?
The door's open still. I don't know who didn't walk in, so.
Yeah. Is everybody in?
I think
in.
The only
Bambrick's
person who
still
the only
outside.
person who said they didn't was Bambrick.
Okay.
I am going to close the door.
Oh, from
That
your end.
wouldn't-
Okay.
I will help you close the door.
Okay.
I'll hold the door closed, actually.
Gotta barricade the door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lock us in. We don't need to leave.
Walk
Nope.
home.
Okay.
Leave.
Scream if something happens.
Before you start closing the door, I like look over to Istis and I go, "This is going to be very hard for you, but you have to confront this."
And that's what she's doing.
Currently, she's just on the floor.
That's true. That is,
Currently,
that is
current-
actually
current-
correct, yeah.
Currently, they're just crying like a little bitch.
Currently,
Oh, what's the matter?
they're on their knees, staring ahead, weeping. So,
What's the matter? Did little baby commit some
little
war
baby
crimes?
commit war crimes. Oh, boo!
Grow up,
Committed
I've
war
done
crimes every
3.
day.
Come
I've
on.
committed so many war. Dude, that guy who came in, do you understand? I gassed his whole family after that. No, I'm kidding.
Dabs.
The whole village.
The whole village gone. The reason I left is because I'm actually a criminal.
YOLO.
I think Isis will get up and basically desperately rush the officer that threw the child in.
Mhm.
She has no idea if this is gonna work, but she's gonna try to kill him.
Yeah.
Push him in.
Fucking go.
Push him,
Push his ass.
Push him in
in.
too.
So, as you do this, Istis, you find yourself like running desperately, a lot faster, a lot more nimble, a lot more suited for battle than you were back then. Essentially, just a young person who was told that you had to do this, or everyone else around you would die. So, you just kind of picked up a spear and did what you did. But now, things are different. As you find yourself like quickly closing the distance and unsheathing your sword, you slowly start seeing the past you as well kind of like drop the chains as they start rushing at the officer as well. And as you like just very quickly unsheath, slice, resheath, and the officer just kind of standing there stunned as they slowly feel like their armor slowly peel back and their flesh just getting rended. You see the past you kind of just shoulder tackle the officer as they have these wide eyes of shock as they just go straight down the pit.
We're a criminal and a deserter. I see.
No,
wait, I
they
don't.
died. They both
Yeah.
went down in the pit and burned to death.
Oh, I thought she just elbow.
It's
the guy.
it's up to Ollie because I'm gonna ask him a very hard question now because we're now entering parts that we kept vague.
Either way,
Would Istis has gone down the pit as well and burned with the officer, or would you have faced the punishment of insubordination and gotten killed by your own by like your own fellow soldiers?
I think insubordination is a little more metal.
Okay.
Aside from going down a pit with a bunch of people who you've been warring with for X amount of time and burning to death alongside them,
That's pretty fucking metal.
that's pretty fucking metal.
So yeah. Istis, as you turn and look at your past self, kind of like breathing heavily after what felt like years, maybe even a lifetime at this point, of just like having to choke it all down, finally being able to spit it back up and live again. You see a little bit of life return to your eyes as like you're able to kind of breathe the air again, and finally, this is the first step. And then you get skewered through the back by one of the soldiers who just, without a second thought, just kills you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And as your body's kind of like sitting there on the spear, like slowly like gliding down, the body kind of like looks up at you and just goes like, we could have done something. We didn't have to go as far as this. Right?
It always would have ended like that. I can say we were just following orders, but we were angry, tired. There's nothing we could have done.
In that instance, I don't know if I would have been able to keep going after this. I don't know if I would have been welcomed in Voclestan. I don't know if I could have gone home. I don't know if there is a home for me anymore after something like this. Maybe we should have just stayed dead.
Perhaps the gods are just having fun with us now.
Wow.
And at this point, Asos will like finish herself off from the past.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you're killing her?
Well, she's dying already. I'm just making it quicker.
Just putting it out, yeah.
Okay.
As you
A
stab.
flame's already about to go out. I'm just making it go out faster.
So, as you finish her off, you see the soldier that killed you kind of like kneel down to your body and kind of like put a small trinket in your hand before like closing your fist. Does the little eyelid close thing and does a small little prayer in Elvish that probably ends with the phrase that's, I'm paraphrasing a lot here. Something that's akin to like, by suffering through life, you are now, hopefully, you will be granted a new chance to experience life to its fullest. And, with that, they don't throw you in the pit. They just kind of leave you there. They kind of leave your body out to the elements. And as the remaining soldiers start lighting up different apparatuses, spearheads, and chucking them in there, some people make like homemade concoctions of oils and explosives and throw them down in the pit as well. And the flames start rising high as eventually one of the stray sparks just lands near your body, capturing the nearby flora and fauna on fire as well. And, it's this you watch as the body burns, almost in an obnoxiously artistic way. The charred corpse left behind is now a dragonborn, as it stands up and looks at you and just goes, through suffering, we can embrace tomorrow with a new appreciation. I wish things could have been different, but now they can be. And as they kind of like they get up and they start kind of like walking away. They turn to you and they go, "Are you coming with me?"
No. There's sure a lot of atonement to happen.
And you kind of gives you a small chuckle as you start to feel the familiar darkness envelop your senses again, as your sight is slowly being stripped away from you again, as the last thing you hear yourself say to you is, that's good. Following orders isn't like us anyways. And you hear them kind of chuckle a little bit as you hear the familiar sounds of your very first walking stick hitting the stones around you. As you descend into darkness, so does the rest of your party, as you are all spat out on the other side of the door.
No, wait. Can I
No,
try
wait.
to hold the door? Can I try to hold the door before
There's a dog barking outside. What's up?
Can I try to hold the door?
Asta's trying to hold us in.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Roll
See if
a strength check, I guess.
The man's trying to hold us in.
Just if
believe this.
something happens.
Roll
We
a strength
gotta
check.
silence this.
I can't believe this.
I can't believe it.
We gotta silence
Okay.
it.
No.
Okay, Bambrick, you're holding in, but then you notice that your heels and your feet, they're getting dug in deeper into the bedrock of the cave as the door is forcing itself slowly open. The door is only able to open up a small crack, large enough for any creature that is medium-sized to slip through.
Oh, how convenient.
We will all slip through.
And there you go.
I release the door when it opens. Yeah.
Dang it. Dang it, I couldn't.
I actually do want to try something.
What's up?
What if I open the door again?
Yeah, Neil, as you kind of open the door again, it doesn't open. It kind of feels like it's jammed or it's locked. But when you look back up at it, you see that there are 2 lines that seem to have been scratched into the door.
It seems we all have to face this. Maybe
Didn't
then
get
we'll
to
be able to
see
traverse. Maybe then we'll be able to traverse through the tunnel system unimpeded.
Probably.
There's so many
Can
upset
you-
dogs outside.
Not being able to
So they close my
to
window.
go forward without, first looking back.
That does seem like what's happening here.
Yeah, but it's just so aggravating. I couldn't even it just went black. Couldn't even see any of the magic. It's so frustrating.
Oh, that's what you're worried about. You concerned that you couldn't see.
I want to know what is causing it. Something is happening in there, and I want to know what it is.
Not being able to see is a gift.
For some, sure.
After,
Everyone's like, "What's up with this cave?" Is this? Oh man, I'm so glad to be blind again. Holy shit!
after what you've seen, I'm sure that is how you feel.
Yeah. That was a totally different life than the one that you're currently in now. I hope.
A new trail for a new person.
Yeah. The blessing of what god was it?
The blessing of the All-Mother.
The old mother.
No.
Or perhaps it is a curse from the All Mother. It is up to me to decide.
Yeah. That is true. Well, I guess it's my turn.
Wait,
Oh.
wait.
Oh, okay. All
What if Neo or Istus? What if you try to keep going now? Will you still return back?
I mean, we might as well try.
If you wish.
I mean, sure. Maybe if we follow one of them who's already been through the door, we won't be turned back around.
We can
We can
try.
try.
So as the party kind of like gets going again, they start walking for a few minutes before I think like everyone kind of like feels the same like weird kind of like, oh, okay, as after walking for a few minutes, Max looks down and sees
Same
another one of their
goes
glowing
sounds.
pebbles.
Yep.
God damn
Yep.
it.
All right. We do all need to go through the
We
door
need to
then.
go through the door.
Can
Who
I look at
even
the
put this
markings?
here? I don't quite understand.
You see, this is what I'm trying to figure out.
Considering it wasn't here before, this must just be an enchanted cave. Maybe the people who.
Cave of Reflection? Like, what is this?
Perhaps if you wish to
There are
work
no-
with these people who put the supplies in the cave, you had to be completely honest about yourself.
There are also no remains in this part of the cave, so it's not as if someone died here.
I would prefer to be warned if any of you has also done war crimes, so I may avoid witnessing it.
No, I think
No,
I'm good.
You guys didn't see the part where my arm got cut off, so that's the
never-
most gruesome part of my backstory.
I never really had the opportunity to do so.
But would you?
Would you if you had the chance?
Hmm.
Neil takes a step back.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I
Actually thinking. Lawful good, by the way.
Oh yeah. I mean, in that situation, if you were told by your country to do something, you would do it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
The word of the Mad God was it.
Man.
My grandfather fought in it and he didn't speak about it much. So I can't say I know what I would do if I was in his or Istis's position.
Wow. So who's going next? Because we're not gonna be going anywhere until we complete this ritual? Question mark? I want to look at those markings. Are they
I
just
think calling
like
it a
slashes?
trial is more appropriate.
Bonding exercise.
Exactly.
Uh,
This is a team building exercise because we're all a family here.
That's true.
Isas will reach to Bambrak's shoulder, but will instead put accidentally her hand in his bald head and say, "Crack on for the
Reassuring squeeze
Reassuring
of the dome.
squeeze of the head.
Just a meaty slap.
Yeah.
Bambrak, I know not what you fear from the past, but I believe it is important if you wish to move forward.
What if I don't wish to move forward?
Then we can't either.
I pick the whelm. What if we
Okay.
break the door?
You can certainly try, but I do not know if it is destructible.
And we don't know what kind of consequences would come from it either. The cave might
By the
be
way,
stable now.
Does whelm talk to me already, or only after I?
Have you attuned to it?
I don't think we've had time.
I don't know if we had time.
I don't think
to
we've had
attune.
time now. We
Then-
just got them and then
no.
moved on.
Okay.
Then no, unfortunately, sorry. I don't think that the party. I think the party is more concerned about getting inside the cave and getting out of the desert than taking a long rest, which is very, very fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
because the demon armor is still cursed also.
yes.
True.
I might need help with finding more music. I realized how very little I had prepared for this one.
It's okay. Why don't you go first, Maximilian? You can study as you go, as you do.
Well,
Like Soren or Banbrek, it doesn't matter which one. All three of you have to open the door regardless.
yeah.
Yes,
It's just a
let me
matter of.
prepare a little.
You wanna rock paper scissors for it?
Who's
will
the
go.
closest one to me?
I'll-
who
I'll
has
throw
not-
the door
I was
open.
about to say, who's the closest one to me who has not opened the door yet? Because I'm going to grab them and
So
force them to open.
indecisive. Goodness.
Let's see. I'm ggoing to roll a 1d3.
Oh, no.
let's go.
Yeah.
The closest person to Neil is Soren.
Woo!
Let's go.
I think Zoran was going to open it anyway, so that
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm just like, these people are being cowards.
Look, you people, I understand shit happened to you in the past, but come on, man.
Yeah, I will throw the door open.
God, I'm so glad this door was not in Kyron's Keep. Holy shit.
Dude, if it was a Card's Key, should be
Oh my
so
God.
fucked.
Seeing Mud's backstory would be so fucked up.
Man,
Holy
it was hard enough describing it to everybody.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, all right, now let's live through it again.
Jesus Christ, I'm so glad this wasn't there.
So, Soren, as you swing the door open, you are met with a sound that, like, I don't know, kind of suits you almost, and that's the sounds of a busy military camp. It seems like everyone's getting ready for, like, another set of drills, as this small army is getting organized in order to start tackling a variety of situations that they're expecting to see in the near future. You see that there are lots of instructions on how to deal with people, to deal with flying creatures that have taken flight, and you don't have anything to take care of them outside of your weapon, how to deal with that. You see that there are exercises on how to deal with heavily armored foes and dealing with them with non-magic weaponry. You see that there's like exercises and drills being done with how do you deal with spellcasters and when they have the range advantage on you. And Soren, you see yourself like in the main like center tent alongside all these other well-decorated like generals and war veterans discussing like what else needs to be covered.
Goodness. I'm gonna step closer to the tent.
Step closer to the tent. You kind of finally see what the eyes of all these people look like. And there's a vacancy there. All these people are moving, all these people are saying things, and from what you recall, this is how all these people acted, but it's almost like there's something else there monitoring them at the same time.
Right, this was after.
And you know, you see everyone kind of like starting to discuss like other scenarios they could find themselves in. You know, like maybe we should have a drill on what to do if somebody is somebody who's quick and nimble, someone that's not easy to hit. And someone's like, oh, maybe we should have an exercise based on what to do when you only have range options against a close quarters combatant. You know, people are just tossing ideas out there, but you have one. You have a very good idea. And you see yourself kind of like, you know, you interlace your fingers and kind of like place them on your chin as you're looking forward at a map of this country, and you're going, perhaps we should. And everyone just kind of goes silent. Just goes, yes. We value your insight very much, so we would love to hear what you have to say. And you go, maybe we should have an exercise if these people are planning to use civilians against us. Perhaps some sort of collateral. We don't want to see the people we are trying to save go up in smokes. And you see them kind of like go silent, go, That is an excellent suggestion. Oh my goodness. We were too busy wondering about our enemies. We didn't think about what would happen to the people who we aren't fighting. And then you just kind of see them all kind of clap their hands and just go you, and you. Find some of your best men and see if there's anyone in the village who wishes to play the part. And we'll start the drills immediately. As you feel a heavy hand kind of just plop on your shoulder and just go, thank you, my boy. Your insight is invaluable as always. And everyone slowly files out of the tent, kind of leaving you sitting there and staring at a map of the country with little flags placed all over.
Hmm. I think now would be a good time to close the door.
All right, I'll close it.
Okay.
Okay.
From
Close the door, Kronk.
From the inside.
Yeah. As you close the door, you
I'm
see...
inside as well this time.
Okay, everyone's inside this time.
Not gonna try and kill us again. I see.
Bastard man.
I'm gonna be outside preparing a landmine.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Good.
fun.
Oh, wow. Oh, I forgot I gave those to you. Part of your custom
You
class.
have landmines in your backstory.
Part
should've
of their starting
narrated
equipment.
He's
Ah,
he's
man, silly
outside
me.
digging a hole.
Claymore landmine, of course.
Of course.
Mhm,
It makes
mhm.
so much sense.
It deals
Why did we not see it
8d6
earlier?
deals 8d6 blasting damage. Good luck
Mm.
resisting
Oh.
this, fuckers.
Oh no.
So, yeah, as you close the door and you kind of take a deep breath, just once again, you kind of feel like a pang just go through your side as you see an all too familiar figure enter the tent and join you.
Shit.
This person rarely joins you for these exercises, but today must have been some kind of exception. As you see, this figure points.
This
Yo, is that
anime
Aaron Tail
motherfucker.
reference? Yo, is that Aaron
Yo,
Tail
it's Campaign
reference?
1 reference!
Oh.
Yo!
There he is.
As you see a flamboyantly pale man wearing bright pastel colors, with a top hat that he never wears quite straight, tilting sideways, just ever so slightly, to the point where you think it would fall off, but it never does. Perhaps that's a magic in and of itself.
Hmm.
As they kind of sit down and look at you, they kind of give you a bit of a teasing grin, and they just go and what's Stilt's best and brightest thinking of today?
Is he talking to the real Soren or the memory Soren, just to be clear?
He's talking to you at first to see what you have to say. Or the past you, I should
The past
Excuse
game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just, trying to shore up gaps in our military, sir.
Yes, so many gaps there are, you know? They have all these ideas about what war looks like, and there's just a lack of perception, you know? There's no vision. They just think they can prepare for anything, and then everything will work out. But you see things a little differently, don't you? I can see it.
You honor me, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's honor that is earned. I don't just give people honor. You have to earn it. And you've earned every single look of respect that everyone gives you whenever you open your mouth. And as they get up, they kind of turn in their chair and they face the current you.
Oh.
And
To help paint the picture, current Soren, he is shaking. fists clenched, very painful expression.
Mhm.
You must be feeling it by now, certainly. My influence, my touch, if you will, it doesn't fade easy.
Shut up!
No, you're gonna be carrying this for the rest of your life.
Shut up!
What do you think's gonna happen when your friends see what happens next? Because I think you know what happens next. What I offer you, what you so eagerly accept.
God, if only I could strangle you right now.
You can try, but who knows if you can even bring yourself to do it anymore. Maybe you can order someone else to do it. You're so intriguing. Such a force in and of yourself, but you can't do anything by yourself. You need to have someone else. And I think after a while, that's why you just stopped questioning me. You just went along with whatever I said. And I appreciate that. I really do. And as they say this, they kind of pull out a large silver platter with a dome over it. As they turn back to the past you, and they kind of look over their shoulder with a little smile on their face and just go, well, you have been working hard, so I got you a little something special. Need to keep the pangs at bay after all, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll leave you to your meal. And they stand up and they start approaching the present you, kind of like trying to see if you'll back out of the tent before the dome is revealed to be what's underneath it.
I am going to stay.
Okay. They will kind of playfully drape an arm around your shoulder and just kind of stare at you and just go, you can't deny who you are. You can't even say I'm the one who made you this way. And as you watch the past you pull, kind of just nervously rub your hands together and you reveal, you take the dome off, you see that it is a severed human arm.
Oh.
Oh.
Pastorin will set the platter down on the table, take up the arm, and take a big bite out of it.
Oh.
Interesting.
Whatever he's eating sounds very meaty.
Yeah, that is one way to describe it. Yes.
Yeah.
Neo would want
There's-
a piece of that.
You feel a gloved hand kind of poke an index finger into your cheek and just goes look how happy you are. Oh my gosh, you are just, it's chowing down. Man, you have this funny little habit when your mouth's full. Look, you see, you're about to do it now, and you see the past you kind of just slowly take a finger up and just kind of suck on it until any leftover viscera is kind of cleaned off. They go, yeah, that right there. They say you learn a lot about someone when you watch them eat.
Not me.
You're right. It was you.
Mhm.
And that's a shame, really. Because, I mean, what? I think we could both agree that when I was a part of your life, when the entirety of Stoke was following my lead, everything was a lot simpler and a lot better. City was thriving. Money was on the up and up. People are jealous, We were succeeding so much where other people just could not even begin to get close to us. And yet, and they kind of like gesture, and as soon as they do that, it's like instantaneously, you see the past you struggling to push a piece of wall off of you, as you're just taking these deep, sharp breaths, as you're trying to unbury yourself from rubble. When you finally do, and the sunlight hits you, and you look around, you see that still has been razed to the ground.
Of all the memories, why did it have to show these two?
Oh, there's more. Don't worry. There's so much that you're just holding back. And I have to wonder why. Things were so much simpler, and then everything fell apart, and where does that leave poor little Soren? Well, I guess it leaves you here, and kind of gestures around. But it's also taken you other places as well. And the scenery fades away once again, and you guys find yourselves back in the deserts of Voclestan, as you see a much different Soren, a lot dirtier, a lot more like sullen, but a little bit in their eyes. There's definitely a sense of self there that wasn't there before, as you see them kind of like finishing up the last bits on what can only be described as some podunk reinforcements of like outside a small desert town. There's like little sharpened bits of rubble, stones that are just kind of there to impede progress if someone were to try to ride horses or large numbers into these small town gates at the same time. And as you see the governor clear their throat, they'll go, "And so, Soren, without a home, wanders the desert, trying to help any that they could, in any measly sense of... what were you even looking for out here? Redemption? You're not going to find it out here. You may not even find it at all throughout your whole life." And as they say this, you see, like, past you, slowly heading into the desert, as you see a bunch of raiders come through, easily kicking over the defenses and raiding the town. As a tumbleweed passes through, as you see a person's hand, like, you see someone trying to crawl through the sand before getting skewered by a sword. And they look at you and they kind of just whisper. They just go, "Don't you see? You never had a purpose. It was just when you were with me. Now that I'm not here, you're nothing."
You're wrong. He doesn't really have an actual rebuttal, but...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd agree with that either. Soren has been incredibly helpful to all of us in the short time we've known him.
Dare to say, thanks to him, we are all alive.
Redemption is a long road to travel, but it's a worthy one.
I'd have to think that you might have been the useless one without him, Governor.
You might be right. After all, I'm dead. And then with that, they kind of explode with a pop.
Oh,
as
shit.
like little bits of confetti and balloons fall all over the place.
6 fire damage.
All right. There's the
There's the
landmine.
claymore.
We found it. Yeah.
Fuck. So, do you still eat people?
Are you sure you haven't
I don't
committed
think-
any war crimes?
I don't think that's the time. I don't think that's the time to ask that question.
The
Actually.
last
think it's a
time I
pretty
ate
good time to
someone
have that.
was 3 weeks ago. He was already dead.
is that like how you survive? Like
It's
Are you
Do you-
hungry?
not right.
Ace just starts unclothing.
But
Oh my goodness.
did your tail grow back? It's like a craving. Like when you have to eat a particular pastry, you know? And it just overwhelms you and you can't say no after a while.
I'm eating a donut right now.
God,
shit.
wish that were me.
Damn, fucking same.
I require my body parts, but if blood suffices.
I think it's actual meat.
It's the meat, but I appreciate the sentiment.
And was this governor the reason why you began this habit?
Yes. That man was an immensely powerful vampire. Those amongst
Among.
Among us.
Dun 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 dun
Swords
dun.
venting.
Dun, dun, dun.
those in Stoth's higher circle were all made into his spawn, including me, unfortunately.
So you're technically a thrall?
Yes, but he's dead. I am free of his control. But
Ah.
the urge to eat flesh remains, unfortunately.
I see.
Should we get the cannibals as like
Well,
provisions?
I don't.
Okay.
I'd rather. I
Actually-
have standards for the meat that I eat. All right, look, that vial, the
That's
seeds are
actually-
written.
That's actually quite interesting because cannibals are not the same as a vampiric thrall. They're like two completely separate entities, but they do.
Nerd.
How was that?
This is actually this
I was
nerd
also gonna be
emoji. Actually.
Actually, he's gonna just keep going and start just muttering at this
Just-
point.
Yeah.
Just ignores it.
As Max goes on and almost like out loud to themselves about like the very complicated intricacies and moral quandaries that cannibals and thralls must face. Everyone's just like, so are we good to go? Or
So, Thorin, how you feeling? Like, are you good? What's going on?
Well-
on a scale of 1 to 10.
How bad do you feel right now?
Well, I want to tear something apart with my bare hands right now, but I think I'll be
Okay.
fine.
Well, that's good. Not
Oh,
the, I mean the
perhaps-
fact that you're fine part.
But perhaps you could eat my. I need them.
This is stop trying to make him eat parts of your body. This is weird. You're being weird.
I'm a little uncomfortable, actually.
I don't think that's necessary.
You can eat more of Neil's body. They can just build replacements using
Oh, you're
their
a genius.
armor
That's-
skill.
Neil, if you lose another arm.
I could cut off the leg. I don't need it.
I just yeah.
I'll just
robot
stay in my
man.
armor forever. It's fine. I'll just be a
Literally
fucking
think-
torso.
Do you think it
He
tastes
just
like
really
Wagyu?
wants to find out if they can lose their tail and if it can grow back.
I mean, I can grow back parts eventually.
You know, if I know that I'd be traveling with a vampire spawn, I would have kept my arm.
I appreciate the thought.
Man, that's a decades long foresight. Just oh man.
Like, man, I'm so,
I
so
guess I'll have to
dumb. I
get
can't
rid
believe
of
I got
this
rid of
arm.
it.
But to be entirely fair, Neil would be like, "Damn, I should have planned for this situation at some point in time.
Wow.
I should have absolutely had this thought in my head and be like,
Slightly-
why this didn't happen."
Slightly older Neil, like getting treated by Minotaur doctors, and they're just like, well, what should we do with it? And you're just like, toss it, and then just
Toss,
like,
yeah,
oh, wait,
I
what
mean,
if?
I don't
Neil
want
goes
it.
back
And
in the
then-
room. He sees the
it's-
surgery room. He's like,
literally-
no.
It's literally the second it gets thrown away, his brain goes, "But what if for some reason in the future you'll need it?" And he's like, "Shit."
Neil, that's crazy. You'll never meet a Dhampir.
That doesn't make any sense. That the possibility of that is so entirely low that yes, it is a possibility, but it's not a probability that I should count for. And then it happens, it's like, fuck.
Fuck. So he was a vampire. So that technically
He was a
means
boy and she was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious?
Could it
No,
make
no,
the
hold
any
on. No,
part
wait.
obvious?
Hold on. No, hold on. He was a vampire, so
He's a
technically
vampire.
he is the reason.
He is a thrall.
The vampire is the reason why he has to eat people.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
He
Yes,
said that he
yes.
wasn't.
He
That's
said
a complete
no.
false lie.
Oh yeah,
No, he
that's...
said that. No, that is what Zoran said.
People in chat, bring up the clip. Clip that. Clip.
I did add
Jamie, pull it up.
if he was blind,
James?
so it did say yes.
Right, but the vampire guy said that he couldn't even blame him. It's like, but he could. He can't.
Balthazar was a snake.
No.
I mean, clearly, but he's also a vampire, like not a snake.
No,
Shut the fuck up.
metaphorical. Neil.
I strangle Max.
Max.
Okay, you start strangling.
Max, you meant metaphorically.
Someone bring up the blurry photo of someone choking out Kermit the Frog, and
Someone bring up Homer choking Bart, but replace it with Soren and Max. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ollie, get on that. Ollie, get on it.
Ollie, we need a new emote. Okay, ready? It's something that's only gonna be used once.
It's just the one time.
There it is.
There it is.
Incredible.
I love it.
I love that it's a GIF for some reason.
Is it?
It is.
I don't know why. It doesn't move. It's just it says the GIF. It's very funny.
Oh yeah, what the yeah, choking meme gif dash choking meme Kermit. What the fuck is this title?
Choking meme.
Choking meme.
Sounds like something you'd hear at a maid cafe.
It does. I didn't want to make a joke.
Choking
Just like
meme.
it sounds like the new like.
God.
It sounds like
meme.
sounds like the second coming of Eto Bleh.
It really does. It really does.
Choking me.
Choking meme.
Choking bee.
No.
Two hands.
Little did I know there was a spoon in that omelet she gave me.
No.
No.
Now I really am choking.
Choking meme.
The beam worked too well.
Oh no, the magic's real.
All right. So, any other self-reflections or any other thoughts you got left in you, Soren? Or
Bamberg?
No, I think I'm good. I won't murder
Good,
one of you in
good.
your sleep and eat you. I promise. I am in control.
Honestly, I fully trust you.
Not even a little.
Thank you.
No, I have no reason. I mean, you haven't done it yet.
I've had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, I literally fully exposed myself and was completely vulnerable with a bunch of cannibals grabbing me, and you could have done that.
He opened his ass cheeks.
I opened my whole ass.
it's how Neil sleeps. Don't judge him.
It's gotta air it out. It gets stinky.
I literally threw myself into a proverbial lion's den of cannibals, and you never even once thought about it. So
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I have full
it's
faith
only
that you
humans.
wouldn't do that.
Right?
Totally
Like, you're not
kidding.
gonna eat a frog, right? You wouldn't eat a frog, right?
Well,
I don't know if that
well,
matters.
back home
you wouldn't
sometimes.
need a car.
You would eat a car, would you?
Well, I guess it's my turn.
Are we back in the cave at this point?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
we're
guess you
back on the
wandered back out.
I imagine like that happened outside of it. Like,
Hmm.
we got kicked out just like we did last time with the explosion.
After he blew up?
Yeah, after it blew up.
With the pop of confetti and balloons, the force of it pushes everyone out the door.
I'll
Hey,
fly
man.
backwards back into the cave. I'm like, oh, whoa, weird.
Wow.
Anyway, if you want to eat any of us, you could like ask.
This is like not even a little bit, just like one little nom.
Just one finger. Come on.
Maybe even a toe if that's up your alley.
Mhm.
I don't. The feet don't have great meat in them.
Like this little hair
Yeah, too many
hair little
bones.
things that she have. You can eat
Really,
one.
really
It's like-
looking for the sirloin.
Eating a foot is like eating an. Okay, first of all, that's derogatory.
The rest of the session is a long and extensive bisecting of the human figure, talking about which parts are the most meaty to consume.
Anyways,
I am so sorry, FBI agent who has to listen to my
this is a joke.
Eating
It's
human
all a
flesh
joke.
in Minecraft.
joke.
It's fine.
This is a joke.
Eating human flesh.
Which
For
how
legal
to
reasons,
prepare
that's a joke.
human
For legal
flesh.
reasons, that's a joke.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I drove Max into the door.
Ah,
Hey,
Just
Throw him
grab him,
into the
toss
door?
him in.
hey, don't push. I'm going.
Max or Banbreck, one of you must open the door now.
Do you want to go?
Or just go. Let's get this over with.
All right.
Okay. Waves hands
Let's-
back and forth. All right, guys, it's time for the second heaviest one.
Let's
Hell
speed
yeah.
run crawl, but let's go.
So,
It's
As you
funny
open
because,
the-
like, in my mind, I was like, man, Neil's backstory is kind of sad. But the more that this is going through, I'm like, Neil's is the happiest out of all of these people, actually.
In retrospect, I'm extremely well adjusted.
Yeah, you know what? Neil thought he was fucked up, but now the more he sees this, he's like, actually, I'm like fine.
Fuck, I feel great.
I don't know
Holy
about you
shit.
guys, but
For
don't know
some
about
reason,
you.
now I feel like I'm the moral support here, and this is strange for me.
this is a new
This is
position
a
I
new,
find myself in.
yeah, this is a new adventure that I'm in, and I'm
We have
willing
more
to take
mentally
it. But
stable
it's
person
weird.
here.
Therapist
The most well-adjusted person here is an amputee minotaur.
There you go. So, as Bambrek, as he kind of like just put on a brave face, you're like, all right, let's just get this over with.
Okay, let's go.
You put your hand on the knob, and you notice that there are 3 scratches on the door now.
Hmm.
And as you take a deep breath, you swing it open, and kind of you feel a lot of the similar sensations when Neil opened the door, but yours is on a much heavier scale in terms of atmosphere and pressure, as well as scale of the forge itself. You're at your family forge back in Voclestan.
Here we go, I guess. And I walk in.
Mm-hmm. And you all see something that, I don't know, at this point almost seems important to you. You see a bit of a younger dwarf sitting at the forge with long, voluptuous hair and a fully grown
Holy
with
grow.
intricate
beard.
braids and
Who's
beads
that guy?
woven in.
I've never seen
Oh,
this
I-
dwarf in my life.
you weren't always bald. Okay.
No, I wasn't.
Until this day. And spills acid on self. No! So,
Someone shoves him in the forge.
No!
All of his hair burned.
it's just
That's
Lex
his tragic
Luthor's
backstory.
It's
exactly.
It's just Lex Luthor's origin, which is just literally a chemical fire broke out, Superman blew it out, and then Lex's hair fell out.
Lex's hair fell
That was
out.
it. That's all that
Now he's
happened.
getting angry. And now he's mad.
That was like the OG Lex Luthor's villain backstory as to why he got bald. That was it.
God.
Holy shit.
It was just a chemical fire, and then like Superman blew it out and saved him, and he's like, "Why would you do that?"
Why would
He's
you
like,
do
"'Cause
that,
you were
my
on
hair?
fire." I don't
My
know.
beautiful hair.
Holy shit.
It's like, all right, dude, fucking whatever.
It's
You're
hair. It'll grow back.
Multi-billion
You
dollar
will-
intelligent man just makes
It's like, my brother in Christ,
your
you
hair
will
back.
be fine. Shut up.
You have $1 billion scientist company.
And then after
Make
that, he
something
just goes.
that'll-
He just says the fucking, "I'll chase you to the ends of the earth."
I hope whoever voiced Spider-Man in the '90s cartoon just had a blast doing the Venom
I
saga.
feel it sounds like he did.
Probably.
So, back to describing. My bad. I get distracted very easily, and even more
Okay,
frequently as the sessions go on. So,
That's true.
It's okay, I do too.
so
And this is my start.
thumbs up.
Yeah.
So as you're working the forge, you see like a small, very well groomed and uniformed dwarf like hands you like a large packet of papers and just goes, "As discussed in the agreement, we need enough to fit an entire regiment of defenders. The armor must be of top quality, which is why we have turned to your family. We are giving you an opportunity. Do not waste it."
Yes, I can do this. Yes, I will bring great pride to my family. And he looks over the papers to see some of the stuff he needs. Yes, this is entirely doable. I take the job.
Excellent. We will expect this order completed by the end of this month.
Very well. You can count on it.
So, as, the well-dressed dwarf takes their leave, and you kind of start working, time starts moving a little funny in the forge, as every time we hear the hammer come down, make a loud resonating clang, and we see you kind of like pull up a finished suit of armor, or like a finished like plate or whatever you're working on. We suddenly see a body next to the forge, dressed in the exact same armor you finish. And for every piece of armor you finish, another body starts getting thrown onto the pile next to the forge. And, we can see that this taking an order of this magnitude in such a relatively short amount of time it's kind of taking its strain on you as well. This is a lot to expect from one person.
He doesn't. He's like thinner. He's no longer looking like he's healthy. You see, he's really pushing himself. The younger Ben Breck, as he's still making the armor, and the armor is no longer looking so good, but he's still making the armor.
And as the bodies start piling up, you see that at the start they looked like relatively intact. Like, oh man, this one just got like just an unlucky claw or something, got a vital spot, and they went down. Like, hey, no one's fault. That could have been anything. But then over time, you start seeing the bodies getting more and more mangled and fucked up, as it's clear that in their rush to finish this order, they started making more and more mistakes. And I think to anyone, it's like, it's kind of killing Neil just to be like, what are you doing?
Why are you doing this? This doesn't make any sense. Why is you're hitting metal while you're moving again? I said the same thing to myself. You don't do that. It's going to lead to warps. Your welds are off. Just in the background, like, muttering like criticisms of what's happening.
The straps are good. Rivets are bad.
Rivets are awful. That's the worst riveting I've ever seen in my life.
Backseat blacksmithing.
He's saying it because like almost reflexively and not really thinking about the fact that like, oh, this is probably hurting a lot. But it's just like he's just in an intellectual sort of outlook right now.
So as it goes on, finally like you see like relief on the younger Bambrek's face as they finally finish the last piece of armor. They pack it away in a big crate, and they're just ready to just start wheeling it off to get this delivery done. And, as they do this, there's just piles of bodies all over the forge now. As, we hard cut to when... come on. One thing at a time. As you push the cart out with the crates with the finished order, as soon as you slam the door, the scene changes. You're standing in front of the Dwarven King himself, as you are currently being held in contempt. The king kind of just... You're currently being kind of chewed out. Everything kind of like sounds distant and wobbled and blurred.
present Bambrack. It's like his fists are, well, you can't really see because of armor. But like he's closing his fists really hard. He's tensing up a lot. Like he knows what's coming, and he's just tensing up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And as you kind of tense up, more and more words start becoming clear and actually audible to everyone present. As the past you is finally kind of like snapping to attention, as the Dwarven King like looks at the same well-dressed person who gave you the order, as they look at Banbreck with like absolute disgust, as they just slam a piece of parchment down and hand you a knife to sign it in blood.
Yeah, Banbreck just takes the knife, cuts his finger, cuts his whole palm, and starts signing.
And as you do this, the Dwarven King will kind of just start just going over all the charges. Oh. Okay. Are you done freaking out, laptop? Fantastic. I can continue then.
Nice.
The king will clear his throat and go, Banbreck Goblinbane, for being a slight on your family's name, causing the death of over 68 defenders, in one of the worst losses of life we have seen in one raid. You are hereby stripped of your clan name. You will no longer be recognized as a Goblinbane so long as you stay foot in Voclestan.
You see Banbreck closing, younger Banbreck closing his eyes and putting his head down. Yes, Your Highness. With a tense voice.
But present you knows that there's more that gets sentenced to you. It's not all at once, but it's what this well-dressed person who even gave you the order says next. They look at you and they just go, ugh. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you or your family. Low clan, low quality. You disgust me.
Banbreck's eyes turn to him. There's anger in his eyes, but he doesn't say anything. Like, he knows if he does something, he won't be just punished for with banishment and everything. He may die. So he just looks anger to the other dwarf and turns back to looking to the ground.
The king will speak up and just say, the punishment has been administered. You from here on will be recognized as clanless. As such, there is no home for you here in Voclestan anymore.
I am no longer a dwarf. And he gets up, still looking down. May I leave, Your Highness?
Yeah. Justice has been administered. The contract is signed.
I think it's time to close the door.
Yep.
You close the door, Banebreaker goes with their wham and starts smashing the king's head. No.
Well, I'm
Holy.
whelming you!
Fuck him! Fuck him!
Over.
Holy shit, calm down!
I am the reason why the demons came!
Yeah, the young Bambrick leaves the room.
Mm-hmm.
President Bambrick still looking, still angry, still shaking.
Do you take the stand? Younger you leaves the courtroom, the other you steps up in their defense.
They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Hey, wait.
Like, why is there a halfling here? What the hell's going on?
And they, both of them look shocked, and they're just like, "What form of trickery is this?"
You try to make me a broken man, like my armor? Well, all you made me was stronger. I am tempered like the steel by this. So no, I will protect. He actually points the hammer to the king, not the king, the other dwarf.
The guy who is dressed nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I will reclaim my name. And just for flair,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he pours some divine energy in the hammer, so the sacred flames flow around it.
Mm.
And he turns to leave through the door.
Okay. Yeah. And as Bambrick leaves first, everyone else kind of sees the walls of the little courtroom they're in kind of start to slowly peel away as you see that, Bambrick as you know them now, despite everything, they're working in a small village, and one day a small wagon, with chests and armoires and trunks just roll up, and a bunch of dwarves pop out, and they all wave at Bambrick, not judging him, and they all kind of embrace, and they all kind of like look happy.
See, this
Your
is what
family, I
meant.
guess.
Yes, after the fall, I've got some of them were able to escape. Not all, or at least we haven't found everyone. But I did what I said. I made armor, protect. And we're still on our way. He puts his hand on his bald head. We're still growing.
We are more similar to each other than I would have anticipated, Bambrick.
We are indeed, Mr. Nail.
Okay. So, with a bit of a more happier conclusion, everyone just kind of leaves the door. Another scratch is formed. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, you see, I wanted to go first because I wanted to leave the frog story for the last.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a good thing that we did that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Now it's time for the real darkest backstory.
Hell yeah.
I must see the frog drama.
Like, honestly speaking, the hardest part of Neil's backstory wasn't even seen. We didn't even see him losing his arm.
Yeah.
Mhm. If more comfortable doing that to Abel, I would completely just do the entirety of it like it was a telenovela. Like
That'd be
fucking
sick as hell, though.
fucking 24 frames per second, like everyone's an actor and just like over dramatizing Max's
Maximilian.
backstory, but I'm like
Well, just
Maximilian,
sitting down, just eating popcorn, clapping, and like, wow.
Maximilian, it's true what they say. The scourge of the 7 seas isn't the pirate king. It's you after you took my heart. Just like everyone, just the music
It
swells.
has the Indian television cut.
It's
Like,
not even
It's a
fucking
musical for
memory.
some reason.
everyone's eyes get a little uncomfortable because it's filmed in like fucking 24 frames for some reason when most television shows are framed in 12. So
It's in like a fisheye also, and we're just like, what the fuck's happening?
but yeah,
Only one eye at a time, like actually closes because it's his
Oh,
tongue
good.
going over his eye.
Oh my goodness.
they say the person that played Max had to really train themselves to make sure their tongue was able to achieve that level of flexibility.
God, I hate frogs.
So yeah, 4 out of 5. I guess I'll just kind of like ask. I can either ask this at the end or I can ask this now. But just like, how would your characters kind of be feeling after like all of this? Because it's a lot.
Exhausted.
I think, like emotionally, I think everyone would be very tired. But Neil specifically, I think feels pretty good. Like he's able to like get a lot of the stuff that was on his chest off his chest with
Max,
telling
So I'm
himself that
nothing
he
like
was a
these
coward.
freaks.
Yeah,
Max-
and also the
Max
fact
is-
that he has the happiest backstory out of all of them so far. So he's definitely like, okay, all these people need a lot of help, and so do I, so I'm not the perfect person to do it, but I seem to be the most adjusted one here, so I'll do my best to be supportive.
Max is grimacing. Like
Mhm.
he's just like not looking forward to what's coming next.
Vendrick is angered, but there's like a new,
Like a passionate anger.
yeah.
There's a
Mhm.
fire lit in the forge of this dwarf. Let's go, baby!
Hell yeah,
Woo!
man. Yeah, also Neil probably feels pretty good that he already found Bandbreak very interesting because it's a dwarf, and he's like, oh, this is why I'm here. Sick. But now he's like, oh, we're like essentially kin at this point with how shit has happened to us.
Mm-hmm. Is this holding up?
Eustace is feeling worse than bad. She's feeling emptiness.
Mm.
But she will live on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Soren.
Soren,
Turing's hungry.
he is a little hungry after seeing that arm, but
A little peckish, yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
but
can't blame him. It looked like a really juicy arm.
he is absolutely exhausted from just how fucking livid he felt seeing Balthazar again.
Yeah.
But
oh my god, you know
His-
his fucking name.
yeah, of course I do.
Wow.
But he does feel at least a little relieved since his party didn't immediately start treating him like a monster, like he kind of expected.
If anything, we immediately were like, are you hungry? Do you need
It's like,
something?
shit,
Like, what's
man,
going
do
on?
you want an
We
arm?
were-
We don't need this
I
one.
think the fact that we were so on board might have been a little concerning.
It's flipped the other direction. He's terrified of these people.
we were immediately like, oh shit, he eats people. Does he need help? What's going on? I don't think I've seen him eat, actually. He might be hungry.
when the monster fucker in the group realizes what you are, it's just like, okay, please give me space.
Oh man.
All right. Well,
All right. Max is
one left.
gonna. Yeah, Max is gonna go over to the door. He's gonna pull it open. He's gonna look inside, see what he sees.
Your ears are hit by the sounds of out of tune music
God.
and
again.
the smell of food cooking, slightly burning over a campfire.
Here we go. He steps in.
Mm-hmm. You find yourselves in the middle of a forest. You see that it seems to be like a party of adventurers. There's a buff dude clad in various animal skins and carrying a large club. There's a smaller let's see, what race is you? You see a smaller gnome. She's wearing a large cloak, and the bow she has looks more like a short bow, but to her it's a regular bow. And finally, you see that there is a multicolored lizard man who is playing an out-of-tune lute. And sitting on a log, just trying to mind their own business desperately, is Max.
Yeah, just trying his damnedest to ignore the out-of-tune lute, and every once in a while he'll get angry, he'll look at the guy playing the lute, and he'll shift or move a little farther away, and then try and get back into his book.
Mm-hmm. It's as you try to focus more on your book, it seems like these people you're traveling with are purposefully trying to get under your skin, as you see the man in furs kind of gently hold the gnome close to him as they start whispering things to each other and giggling.
God, so many distractions. He turns around from the campfire. His back is to the flame.
Mm-hmm. It then cuts to later that night as Max is all but willing to take up the first watch just to get a minute's worth of silence from these people.
Yeah.
As you're sitting there and trying to enjoy the silence, reading your book, you hear activity in one of the nearby tents as you hear the gnome and human male just kind of start shushing each other and giggling further. They are not being subtle at all.
I'm with a band of beginners. God, this is terrible.
And yeah, after hours of being on watch, eventually you see a very sleepy lizardborn kind of crawl out of their tent, kind of look up at you and go, "Hey, listen, I'm still really tired. You mind taking my shift too?"
Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry, I'm just really tired, man.
What have you been doing?
Oh, I've been raising everyone's spirits with my lovely music. It's what I do. I'm a bard. And then they just kind of play another note out of tune.
Stop. Oh, God.
Music is everything to me.
If it's everything to you, then why are you so bad at it?
I'm not bad at it. I'm very good at it. No one's ever told me I'm bad at it.
The lute is out of tune.
And how would you know that? Are you a musician?
I don't need to be.
Well, it sounds to me like you need to take my shift anyways, because you just hurt my feelings, and I'm not going to do my watch anymore. And they just go back into their tent.
Mm-hmm. Max is in the wrong here.
I agree.
You're the asshole.
Yeah, you are the asshole. It is
Max
you.
is the real villain.
Look, man,
So
he's
angry.
learning.
He is so pissed off. Couldn't get any sleep. Couldn't get any studying. Fucking the gnome and half his party is fucking each other. It's just no one's doing their job. It's just, God, he's so pissed off.
And then we hard cut to Max is they slam the book. Suddenly we're in pitch darkness, and then you hear someone hit a match as a lantern is held up, as you see the party that you're with kind of rubbing their hands on these stone inscriptions on this wall. It's a large, I forgot what the word, it's a mural. There it is, that's the word. It's a large mural depicting some kind of ancient battle that took place in these caves or involving the people nearby here that history has long forgotten. And as people are trying their best to decipher it and see what's going on, Max, you're already halfway done with this already. You're just you know what, maybe the reward's not even worth it at this point.
Yeah, it's just, I'm not gonna get anything out of this. I think we should go back. This is not worth it. I'm gonna call it quits. This is stupid.
And yeah, as you turn to leave, you hear a soft gasp and a "oh no," as you see the guy who was clad in furs For the record, he's barbarian, but
I'm shocked.
He's
I truthfully never would have guessed.
I know, right? He could have been anything. He could have even been an
He
artist.
could have been a boat.
Could have been both. So
Could've been a boat.
he, as you see him like, kind of like look up at the other two members of the party in horror, you see that his foot is stepping on a stone tile that's slowly sinking into the ground as everyone's motionless. Max, you are far away from danger. As the guy looks up and goes, "What do I do?"
Hey,
They're like, "I don't know. Like, get like, jump over here. Jump over here. Get the pressure off of it."
shit.
And
Ow.
as he goes, okay, here we go. And he like steps off of the plate, and as soon as he does that, he is just filled he's just hit with like just a pin cushion, just 100 different like darts just riddle him all over his body as he barely has time to like let out like a groan as he just falls over just right in front of the gnome as he starts shrieking in horror.
Damn it. I'm gonna rush over.
Yeah, as you rush over, you see like just there's a lot of activity going on all at once. The gnome is too busy holding the guy and like crying over his body. The lizardborn like just falls backwards and starts scrambling over to as close to the wall as he can, triggering another trap as you feel the entire cavern shift as you look up and see a spiked wall slowly starting to descend upon the party.
Oh shit.
Everyone, get out now!
Yeah, as you do that, you see. Why am I doing this to these people? I don't even fucking know them. You see the lizard boar get up, and you see him like get up and like scramble, like in his haste to get up, like he presses his knee on like the barbarian's throat, and like there's a gross squishing sound as like he's trying to get like out of there as quickly as possible. But as he's running towards you, Max, you see that a stone wall is slowly starting to rise to trap them inside.
Oh my god. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. Shit. He can't do anything. Like he's looking around, he's like scrambling, he's trying to find something. He's trying to look around to see if there's something that'll stop the pressure plate, like a failsafe to stop to reset the traps or to like disable them, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then just I don't know what to say, but it's like every person witnessing a saw trap ever, as you're just like, wow, there really is not anything I can do in time. As just sure enough, the last things you hear are just their screams and confusion and anger as they get crushed by this spiked wall. And yeah, as Max is just, you're kind of like watching the look
horror.
in your just the absolute horror of this tragedy happening. We then cut back to the another adventurers guild, as you know, you gotta report what happened.
Yeah. Complete failure. Complete and total failure. I couldn't do anything to help or to stop them or to stop the traps.
And the you see a very tired like lady working the back of the working the reception desk just nods and just goes, yes, yeah, this happens quite often. I wouldn't blame yourself too much about it. I mean, everyone in that party, it seemed like they were all fairly inexperienced. And then she kind of like starts flipping through some papers and goes, but you have a fair amount of adventures under your belt. I'm a little surprised you let this happen.
I thought that having an inexperienced party, I didn't expect this dungeon to be as difficult as it was made out to be, or as it turned out to be. I thought it would be a nice way to, like, you know, I've had some experience with adventurers. Someone helped me start out, so I thought maybe I could do the same thing. You know, help out some other new adventurers. But I misjudged the dungeon level.
No, it's fine. These are things that you pick up over time. These are skills that come, unfortunately, at a cost for some people, but I just keep at it, okay?
He's really dejected.
But sure enough, I got 2 more little anecdotes, and then we'll get to the grand conclusion for Max here. The second flashback that it shows you is a slightly more like veteran-looking Max. This one has definitely had a few more like successful adventures under their belt. You see that they're interacting positively with this group. There's a paladin of Trenticus. There's a cleric of of Umos, the water deity. There's like a very serious and quiet like rogue who has like only he doesn't speak. He just has 2 daggers and he's really cool. No one's ever seen his face.
Whoa.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
And then Mud's there.
And then Max is there, points.
Whoa.
And
Actual frog.
and finally there's a warlock. Certainly not an uncommon type of adventure, but this is 5 people to a party, so everyone here understands the stakes here are pretty high. And as you guys slowly enter this large antechamber, you see that there is a small crown on a pedestal. And as everyone kind of swallows a little bit, as you guys are slowly examining the room, discovering traps, disarming them. You're taking your time with the room. Suddenly you see the warlock he starts unfurling a scroll and starts reading it, as everything kind of starts slowing down almost. As you see the warlock kind of look at everybody, kind of getting slowed down, and goes, "I'm sorry, everybody, but I need this." And he walks over and he grabs the crown and he puts it on as necrotic energies surge through his body. And he starts doing a honestly very impressive monologue with the amount of tropes he's hitting of, "Did you really think we were friends? No, I needed you all to get closer to the crown, and I couldn't have done it without you. You've all been so useful." And then his head fucking explodes because he can't handle the magical energies inside of it.
Oh my god.
And then there's just there's a bit of an awkward silence as everyone's just the spell wears off. The section of the room you're in is perfectly safe. The dude's body's still there, the crown's kind of rolled off the steps and it's just covered in viscera and chunks of his own skull.
I could not imagine.
So is anybody want to pick that up?
You kind of see the cleric look a little nervous before kind of picking it up with 2 fingers and wrap it in a handkerchief and being "Oh, this is very gross."
Here, I'll clean it with prestidigitation.
Thank you, Max. Thank you. Well, okay.
What?
I
wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't either. That
the monologues was really good, but it exploded. What happened?
I don't know. And the paladin just kind of chuckles to himself as he holds his sword up high and shines it against the light and goes, "Clearly, his foul soul could not handle the powers of evil contained within it. While he was so willing to betray his friends, I think a part of him, deep down, could not handle the amount of strain it would take on his soul to toss away everything he believed in so casually. He truly was a friend to the very end."
You know, I'm gonna go with that. That sounds nice. Because warlock, half souls. Anyway, I guess we got what we came here for, right? Is there anything else?
I don't think so. Let's just get back and get paid. Wow, that.
Yeah,
Everyone's just like.
Yeah.
Well, that certainly happened.
If you wouldn't mind, I would love to do a magical check on that. I know it's full of necrotic energy, but I want to study it a bit. I'm not gonna put it on, promise. I just wanna give it a good looks over. Identify it, if you will.
As you identify it, you see that this crown is nothing more than a farce. It is a trap for grave diggers and glory seekers to
Holy shit.
just lure them into a false sense of security, put on the crown, and then you just die because it's just meant to overload the magical energies inside your body.
Incredible.
Shit.
It literally is designed to do exactly what it is.
Yeah. Wow. This crown is kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah, in a way.
Anyway.
And yeah,
he's not going to say what it actually is.
And then finally, there is one last little anecdote. And it is a bit more of a complicated one, but unfortunately something that does happen to adventurers when they, go out and about. You are currently in a multi-layered dungeon. And it's not just you in there in your little group. It's multiple groups. Everyone's trying to get to the bottom in order to take care of what seems to be a slumbering dragon before it wakes up. Whoever kills it gets the loot.
PvP.
Yeah.
As everybody is kind of like, at first everyone's cooperating, get through the giant gate first. All right, first room is probably the most dangerous. Everyone work together to get through that, slow, methodical process. But by the time it gets to the second and third one, as people start discovering hidden doors, secret staircases, possible ways to get to the bottom faster, camaraderie is no longer on the table. Any amount of glory shared is just quickly become a free-for-all, as a lot of people that you thought were better than the way they're acting kind of like just devolve into depraved maniacs,
Competitive spirit is one hell of a drug.
And sure enough, yeah, there's a brief moment, Max, where you discover a small indentation in the wall nearby that's inscribed with a magical rune. You can see that another mage in another party is with you and sees it as well. But they don't know what the rune does, and you do. The rune is set to disintegrate anyone who brisked past it in a proximity. You could tell them.
But he doesn't.
Yeah. As he sits there and goes, hey, I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah,
and he goes and
goes and starts rummaging through his bags and waits and kind of looks up a little bit and then looks back into his bag. I should have the tools.
As he goes, me too. He quickly gestures for his party to come follow, and they all kind of gather around as he goes, all right, pretty sure this opens a door or something. And he touches the room with his hand, and sure enough, the wall kind of shifts and starts sliding off to the side. But there's no one to greet the door, as there's only several piles of ash waiting.
Wow. He's gonna go over to the rune, check it, make sure that it's not going to activate again since it's already been used, and then continue walking through, stepping over the ash.
Yep.
Not his best moment, but
Yeah. On top of that, the mission ended up in a bust anyways, because by the time the rest of your party got down there, which at that point started off as like 4 members, including yourself.
Mhm.
It's now down to like just you and one other dude. As
Damn.
this dungeon was relentless. You've watched like people you've built close ties with kind of like die in really gruesome ways. You've kind of had to like you felt the need to kind of undercut other adventurers to make sure you got this far. And by the end, when it was just you and like a priest who was only there to really deal with undead, and you're looking at the slumbering form of a red dragon, he kind of just looks at you and goes,
Well,
maybe we should cut our losses.
Yeah. Max at this point is haggard, tired. He is not smiling. He is not happy. He has done things that he does not want to talk about ever. He is just like absolutely miserable. And at the state that he's in, and with the things that he's done, and where he's at right now, he just taps it, or not even, he doesn't even do that. He just looks at the priest and just, yeah, let's go back. We wouldn't be able to do anything with this anyway.
Well,
Fuck.
it's a shame that so much life had to be lost over not even being able to achieve a common goal anymore.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Competition. I don't know, man. Something about this place just changed us. Or maybe just me. I don't know.
It's hard to say, my son. Don't blame yourself. Now then, you know what helps fight back the voices whenever I witness a lot of death and loss at once?
What's that?
Booze. And a lot of it. Let's set up a tavern.
That sounds like a really nice idea.
And as he pats your backs and starts walking, he immediately runs into a translucent wall as he's kind of floating in midair, as he has walked into a slime without realizing it.
Well.
Fuck. Son of a bitch.
He kind of just looks at you, like his cheeks puffed out as he's just trying to keep whatever air's in his lungs in.
I look at the slime, I look at him, and then I turn around and I look at the dragon. I'm like, son of a bitch. Shit.
Yeah, you don't have a tremendous amount of spells left to use anyways after
Yeah.
all the nonsense, too.
I'm like, fuck. Shit. No. God damn it. And he's just gonna start running.
Okay, yeah. You leave the priest to slowly get digested by the slime as you are the last person to leave, and I gotta know, did you ever go back to report to the Adventurers Guild, or did you just walk out?
I did not. I did not go back. I did not report to the Adventurers Guild.
Okay.
I skipped town.
Okay.
I didn't want to see the people in that town. I did not want to see the adventures in that town. I don't even want to remember that town.
Mm-hmm. And so with that, yeah, you see a younger Max, all the possessions in the world on them as they take off on a little dirt road into the forest.
Yep.
So who's gonna close the door? Smiles.
Close the door.
The door.
Well.
Yeah, you close the door and you see a little younger Max sitting at a table at a tavern trying to read their book. And they kind of look up at you and they go, I never thought it was possible for me to want people to die like that.
Want people? I didn't
Yeah.
want anybody of them. I didn't want any of them to die.
I don't know. It seemed like after a while you were kind of just cool with watching it happen. And I was kind of okay with letting it, really.
Maybe it's just because we got so used to it. it was always happening. You know, every adventure, every dungeon that we went on always ended up with someone dying, someone getting crushed, someone getting burned, someone getting eaten. You kind of just, after every single time, just a little bit of you just keeps, you know, getting darker and darker and darker. Until there's really just nothing left. And you kind of just wonder, you know, like, is this all there is? Death.
Wow. It's just gonna happen again with these guys too?
Well,
You're just gonna watch them
I
die and then just
hope
leave?
not.
We're
don't
a bit
know.
sturdier and more traveled than they were.
That is true. But I think it's gonna be different. And that's kind of the beauty of it. Because with you, I'm looking at my past. I know everything that happened. I know all the decisions that I made. But with these group, I don't know. And so while it's possible that they might end up eviscerated, disintegrated, eaten, destroyed, broken,
Yep.
you
All
know,
those things. Mm-hmm.
it's entirely possible that I could make a good decision for once and actually save the people that I'm with instead of just letting them die.
Huh. Yeah, I guess so, huh?
You know, that's the beauty of the future, is you never know what's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, unless you're a divination wizard, but
Hey,
putting
hey,
it-
hey, listen, those schmucks, those shams, they got nothing. They don't know shit.
Wow. Do you have any
Hey,
cool
what-
spells? Do you know any cool spells I'm gonna learn?
Oh, dude, you got no idea. All right, let me show you. He pulls out his fucking
Bunch of
book.
fucking
Look
nerds.
Look at all this
God,
shit. This is
kill
so
me.
good.
Look, I'm a big proponent of Minecraft, and I still think this is really fucking nerdy.
And yeah, as he does that, the younger you kind of like sighs and like looks up at the tavern walls, and kind of just takes a big gulp from their mug, which is just filled with water, and goes, feels like forever since I was just able to smile like that, you know?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I was where you are.
Man.
Yeah, it's been a journey, and I still got a long one to go. This world is full of secrets, and I plan to still find them, discover them, unravel them. That's never changed.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can do that if you're still stuck here, so. Door's right over there.
So long, past me.
Yeah, see you, future me. Kinda thought I'd grow a beard or something. I'm a little disappointed.
You know, I
The
tried.
frog.
No.
I tried.
No, did we try?
Yeah, we tried.
No.
Yeah, potions.
You have hair follicles.
spells. Yeah. The best I could do was like a little bit of whisker, and it just didn't. That wasn't good, and it itched like hell.
no.
So
How did you grow
yeah.
hair?
Now I want to see that actually.
just don't try it, okay? And he leaves.
Okay.
He hops out. Beards aren't for us. We may be wizards. but
God,
beards
beard.
aren't for us.
Dang it. And as you walk out, the younger you turns to the rest of the party and goes, I wonder if he understands that I'm actually just a mere figment and have no possible way to comprehend what he's really saying. This conversation will truly mean nothing in the end.
I think he does, but I think he's just kind of buying into it.
I
future's-
do when everything starts to fade. I do want to make a one last Arcana check to really be like, what the fuck's happening with this? Is this a spell?
Yeah, so make an Arcana check with advantage.
All right. Hell yeah, let's go.
Nice.
Hey, wow. My man didn't even need it. So,
Nice.
so after finally stepping out and seeing the last mark made, fifth mark, and the door kind of like poofs away, you're kind of left with like a handful of hypotheses, but they're all pretty strong. The first one is that this is something that's part of the cave. Someone, like, probably a long time ago, like, maybe this was a failsafe for, like, to prevent smuggling. You know, like, oh, if you can't face your past, you can't leave. So that'll just stop it right then and there. Other option is, maybe someone recently put it in, and in order to kind of hide the tunnels or to make sure that nothing can get out of Voclestan. And the final thing is maybe something that Neil offhandedly said, that maybe that Phoenix guy had this down here. He's supposed to be a big shot. There's a lot of insignias from what Bambrek picked up, and he was the guy who the Order of the Avarice Avian wanted him because of his large stockpile of magical items.
Ah, so this whole room is a magical item. Or at least
Or at least it functions like one.
Yeah, like an altered room.
That's very interesting.
It is, but also like, what? The past? Huh. I always thought, like, if you wanted to stop intruders from, like, getting in, you just show them every single horrific thing ever known to your imagination, and, you know, just break their mind.
Oh.
Well, maybe this is supposed to show people every last horrific thing they've done and break their mind.
Oh. Well, that's okay, yeah, that's probably right.
But what they realize is the party can now freely traverse the rest of the caverns and tunnels.
Wow.
Interesting.
We've done it.
What a... huh. Man,
Face your past to move forward, I guess.
Yeah. Although, I gotta say, a lot of you guys are fucked up.
You watched people die.
Yeah.
Seemingly happily.
No, you heard what I said at the end. We're walking as we're talking.
Yeah. Sure, but you know.
It is a bit of a.
Happy about it.
It is a bit of a relief for me to know that we're all deeply fucked up people.
I think
Mr. Neil
you're the least fucked up?
Mr. Neil just lost his shop and left.
Yeah, I ran away from my failings like a coward, and that's the only thing that really happened to me, aside from losing my arm. But
yeah, you still gotta tell me about that later.
I can tell you about it right now.
What? Oh, okay, let's go.
I've witnessed Trenticus decapitate the Orc God.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
That's pretty rough.
Holy shit!
Fuck. Holy shit. Really? In person?
But in the war.
But you watched the killing of the Orc God in person?
Well, where else would I have witnessed it?
I don't know.
Is that why you're blind?
Well, we
Most
saw
likely.
why they're blind.
Well, yeah.
No, shit, right. Fuck! Fuck! Soren fades away.
That's the wall, brother. There it's
Pieces out.
What you saw was the aftermatch of what happened.
Right. Yeah.
That did seem like a victory lap. My arm was blown
Frog in
off
front.
in a boarding accident.
And a what?
There they go.
In a forging
Oh, shit.
accident.
They really are samurai. They can just
Really?
teleport.
The reason why I dislike weaponry is because I was experimenting with a weapon, and my own folly blew my arm off.
Oh. Huh.
Oh.
It was not a clean break initially. A lot of it was still dangling, so I had to get it
There it is.
removed.
Good news. I found City Slider just in time for the session end.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
And that is why both I've lost my arm and do not care to work with weaponry anymore.
Well, I mean, I would love a weapon. That's for sure.
Well, you can
What
find
would
one
you do
somewhere.
with it?
Use it to defend myself.
I have a staff if you wish.
You have a
You
staff?
also have a staff.
Wait,
I use it as a walking stick mostly.
Oh, I have one of them.
If you wish to grab the walking stick of a blind person, I will give it to you.
No, now you're gonna make me feel bad. No, I don't want to do that.
gentle transition to next map.
Mhm.
I don't remember if I bothered even putting fog on this one. Can you see everything?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, yeah, after finally escaping from the series of tunnels, you enter a much more wide open cave system. It seems that there are two very rickety, shabbily maintained, and even constructed bridges that lead to what just seems to be the wall of the cave itself. The cave kind of seems to be like someone tried to cover up an exit with some boulders or rocks, but you could still feel an immense heat radiating from it.
Feels like we're close.
It seems so.
This would be probably the best place for you guys to rest up or take a long rest if you need to before the next step of the journey.
I think that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
It probably is.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, as everybody gets settled in and starts setting up camp, we will end the session there.
Yeah.
A thumbs up. Like I said,
We did it, gang.
We did it.
We
Like
bonded.
We
Thumbs
faced our
up.
past and laid everything bare.
everyone did it. Everyone exposed their own ass to each other.
Hell yeah.
It's important for the adventuring process. We
We
have to do it.
Look, if you're gonna be dying with people, you need to know how large their animal is.
I need no
Yeah.
sex.
You need to be able to know their anal circumference.
Yeah, I gotta know.
That's the word, yes.
Ah. Look,
I gotta know. It's the only way.
That's the word of the day. Ah! So yeah, there you go. That was today's session. Just a little I've been on break and did not feel like doing complicated combat, so break glass, it's time for an RP session sort of thing. So
And I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah. Good stuff.
yeah. I hope everyone had fun. I do want to apologize if I went too far with your character or misinterpreted them or put you in a position that you're not exactly comfortable with.
Nah.
Nah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
On my
fine.
part.
It was good. Also, the reason why when you asked what his name was, and I was like, "Oh, it's behind me," is because I don't fucking know what his name is.
Ah,
I
Okay,
simply,
so
I
that's-
simply don't know.
that's unimportant character number 2.
Well,
Do not
I
remember
mean,
names?
Neil would
Not
Neil would
important.
probably know it, but I do not know it,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I didn't
So-
want to be like, "But what is his name?" I was just like, "Whatever." He wouldn't care.
Yeah. So, for a little bit of context, when sitting down and doing character creation for everybody, I kind of like had everyone kind of tell me their story as they were leveling up their characters in order to see like where they would be when the adventure starts, to see if there's like any real room for like growth or development or stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I realized for a mission like this, there's not going to be a tremendous amount of opportunities for that unless I gave you guys an extended like sit down around the fire and everyone just swap trauma stories. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll show him.
hmm I figured it'd be a lot more entertaining if people would be able to see it and kind of experience it firsthand for themselves, and see if they could help the other person through it. And I think everyone did a really good job. So
Yeah.
It's
Good.
super funny because now that I'm thinking about it, when those questions were posed to me, all of the answers I gave were like of somebody who has gone through it. and it's sort of just like, it is what it is, man. I made my choices, and I don't fully agree with them anymore, but I did it, so whatever. So like, it makes sense that when mine came up, and I was like, I'll do it first. I don't fucking care. I've dealt with my past. I'm good.
Yeah. For me, it kind of like helped me build the character personality more. Like for him, like Max, he's not like because of that last dungeon with the like everybody starting to just kill each other because they were trying to compete to get to the bottom. Like he kind of just like cut off all kinds of like competition in him. Like, he does not like competition. He will simply give up whatever like anybody like wants. He'll just like, he won't fight for it. You know, like if he can spare it, or if if it's not gonna kill him, he'll just give it up.
Yeah,
yeah.
You've had the unfortunate experience of being like, yeah, no, I understand what's at stake now. It's not just like, oh shoot, guys, well, I guess we can't collect our 6 bear asses. Let's go home. It's like, all right, cool. So we just watched our greatest fighter get one shot by a troll. I don't think this is worth it.
We're done. I'm done. I'm going away. I'm leaving.
Yeah, it's just
whatever.
Like, yeah, the competition is just like it's been rooted out of him. Like he's done with it. Like he's not gonna compete with people. He's not gonna do any kind of like pissing contest. Like he'll argue and be like, nah, those fucking divination wizards are bullshit. They don't know what they're talking about. But like, he's not gonna go out of his way to like show that he's better than everybody.
Also, a general rule of thumb for a lot of adventurers is like, they're not built for the adventuring guild kind of party. That kind of lifestyle isn't exactly for them. It's more just like hey, sometimes I just want to be a guy with like a bow and just be chilling in the woods and then just help people every so often. Like,
pretty much.
Oof. I was also tempted to fucking do the obligatory adventure guild scene of Max getting shafted after his first successful job, just being like, all right, so this is your cut, 2 gold coins. Everyone else takes like 100.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, you're the new guy, so...
I literally saved your life!
Yeah, and now, you'll earn it next time.
What?
So... yeah.
Leaves party, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Villain origin story begins.
Didn't get paid the proper amount.
Yep.
So we have a war criminal, a vampire.
A vampire is fun.
The vampire is fun. Someone with really bad luck with party.
Yeah. Well, just frog. Really,
oh my god.
Just frog wizard. Because like I've had successful missions before. It's just those 2 were really bad.
A disgraced dwarf, and then just a guy.
And a guy that lost his shop.
And like an old dude who's kind of, dealt with his shit already.
He just wants to smith, he doesn't want to run a business.
Yeah, it was a thing, because with all the questions that I got, one of them was like, if somebody like came over and started telling lies about your armor and stuff, what would you do? And I was like, well, Neil would initially argue it and probably like lose his temper and do something stupid that like tanks his reputation for everybody else. And for a while, he would just be like, whatever, I'm going to do my job and people will come to me because they know my quality. But eventually, when everyone starts listening to the other guy, he would just be like, fine, you don't appreciate me anymore? I'll fucking leave.
Yeah. And the fallout of that is still pretty funny to me because, like, if you were a starting adventurer and fucking Neil is making you your first, like, suit of armor and you're coming back with, like, you're still intact, but you're shaken, you're just like, holy shit, this is crazy good.
Yeah, I can't believe that I lived from this.
Yeah.
But Neil left, and since that armor skill left, people aren't coming back as often anymore.
Weird.
So the dude who ran me out of town has a lot of fucking egg on his face.
Yeah, it turns out It's hard to leave a 1-star review if you're fucking dead.
Ruh-roh, Raggy, all the spaghetti's falling out of his pocket.
Oh no!
Oh,
He's
Yeah,
not
it
gonna go
was.
just dump a bunch of money on this and solve his problem anyway.
Yeah, it was definitely a thing of like Neil has, you know, he was a lot more of a hothead at that time, and as he's been going around like roaming, kind of fixing up armor, like showing off what he can do to everybody, he's sort of like been in his own mind going, I could have and should have dealt with that way better.
Yeah.
And if I had a chance to, I would either just ignore what he was saying and continue to do what I did, or I would have just, you know, bent the knee. But
Really?
he's glad. Well, it was the thing of like, if he wanted to keep his shop, then he would have just bent the knee. But if he wanted to keep his pride, he would have just ignored him. But he abandoned both.
Yeah. Huh.
So he's like, at this point, he was like, I would have just kept doing what I was doing and kept my pride.
Mm-hmm.
But if he didn't, then he wouldn't have been out here. So
I must go eat. I am hungry.
I
Okay.
also will go
Alright.
eat.
Thank you for joining, Ollie.
Thank
Thank you for
you,
joining,
Montgomery.
Dejan and everyone.
That was really fun.
Good session.
It was a good game. I love RP sessions so much. Woo!
Yeah, woo!
They're really nice. They're really good.
You shouldn't have called me out on the internet, Narita!